was all about.
Streaming live from hitthatline.com.
That seducer and despoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You guys know I am a student of pop culture.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
Hey, welcome into a Tuesday edition of The Morning Rush. For the fifth time in program history, the UConn Huskies are the national champions and the kings of the college basketball world. Dan Hurley, the third consecutive coach out of Storrs to do it, this time in dramatic and dominating fashion. They end up getting the better of San Diego State, who made it a game in the second half, cut it to 6 at one point. But it was all Huskies down the stretch with the 16-4 run. We got plenty to discuss with this national championship game. Arkansas baseball not happening tonight. That game has been canceled. It's Masters Week. We'll get into that. Some Arkansas connections there and some SEC baseball news that we'll touch on as well.
Brought to you by APAC Arcola. They have immediate openings in the Boone, Marion, and Baxter County areas. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, got experience finishing concrete, diesel mechanic, or you have paving or asphalt experience, they'd love to talk to you. Go to jobs.crh.com. Again, that's North Central Arkansas in Boone, Marion, and Baxter counties. Also in Northwest Arkansas in Benton, Washington, and Madison counties as well. Again, top pay, sign-on bonus, benefits that include insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online, jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola is an equal opportunity employer.
You were asking about weather, and I was going to ask you, are we out of the woodwork yet?
We didn't got to it yet.
Didn't get an alert last night on my phone or anything. I was reading yesterday that there was supposed to be potential last night, and then also this morning, today as well. Is that what you read?
Well, I don't think there was much of a threat for yesterday, but today is pretty good chance of some severe outbreaks. I don't know if it's, hopefully not to the level of what we saw last Friday, but hail and some high winds are certainly possible beginning, I don't know, sometime this afternoon is when it's supposed to hit.
This is in Northwest Arkansas in the River Valley, correct?
More to the western side of the state is the way I've read it. I'll be honest, the game went so late last night, and I pretty much from the time I got home till my eyes closed for good last night, I was watching basketball. I was on CBS, so I didn't stay up late enough. I got one shining moment in, and it was nighty night. So I didn't see the local news last night.
What did you think of this one shining moment? Technically, there was 4 Arkansas appearances, if you want to count Mikael Mitchell trying to block a Grady Dick shot, or I guess it was Mekhi Mitchell. But Arkansas got some love in the one shining moment.
Oh, video. I mean, that mean we're loved and respected? Is that how we're going to grade it? I guess everybody gets. I expected to see Muss without a shirt on because that's it's an iconic moment, but it's a memorable moment that, something you don't see very often. So that little, half-second snippet. But, yeah, there were, I guess, 4 flashes that probably totaled 2 seconds between 4 images that I didn't think about that fourth one you mentioned. But it's fine. When I was a kid, that was the hook that kept me up, late. When I was a teenager, I love that kind of stuff. And it's gotten better and worse over time. I thought last night's was fine. I think whoever has the task of putting that together, that's a big job to make sure that goes right.
It's really,
and it won't be the same without Jim Nantz and some of his dad joke calls that he has there at the end. His homespun humor, for me at least, will be missed. So.
Iron Eagle will take over starting next year. I know Nantz, it was an emotional ride in his final Four and final national championship game. Him, Bill Rafferty, and Grant Hill, just to have the relationships they've had over the years. Bill's been with Jim Nantz, I guess, ever since Billy Packer stepped down from that role or retired or whatever ended up happening there. So it ended up being, I guess, a decent game. I wouldn't say a great game by any means because I think they went by 18, 16?
Yeah, it was closer than that for the majority of the game. But you're right, it wasn't an epic championship game. I mean, UConn did exactly what we've seen them do in the tournament to this point, and what we kind of expected them to do. That was dominate. They were physical. It was a physical game that the teams decided on the floor last night, and UConn was the best.
Arkansas has now, in the past 2 years, lost to the national champion and, of course, a Final Four team in Duke. So you can take solace in that, or you can not care about that. I don't really care. I have noticed some former players talking about, well, this team's close, this coaching staff's close, they're going to get it done in the next 5 years. There's a lot of belief right now that Arkansas is in the right direction. They very much are so, based on what has happened in the recruiting trail and what's happening. And the big thing right now is portal news, and some more guys have jumped in there, including Baylor's L.J. Cryer and Oral Roberts' Max Abmas. So there are plenty of guys, if you remember 2 years ago, almost beat you to send them to the Elite Eight rather than Devo Davis hitting that shot. So there are plenty of guys right now that can help out your team and your roster next year, and some shooters as well, which Arkansas desperately needed after this season.
Yeah, when I saw Abness's name, I think Jeff Goodman was the first to report this on Twitter, or the first one I saw at least. I thought, man, is there interest from both sides at all in this? Because, like you said, you need a scorer. You need someone to put the ball in the hole. And, well, 2 years ago, he led the nation in scoring. So, yeah, there's a guy, and I think he averaged this year. I know it's a different level of defense and competition, but I think it's 21.4 points I read. So, yeah, there's a guy that you hope might have some interest in coming to Fayetteville. Don't know if that is or will or won't work out, but that'd be a good addition from what you see, at least on paper.
877-377-6963 if you want to jump in with us this morning. We have plenty to discuss, as I opened up the show with. But back to the national championship game last night. I heard Keyshawn, Jay Will, I guess Keyshawn's on vacation, Chris Canty, Jay Will, and Kellerman talking about this earlier. UConn is clearly now a blue blood with 5 national championships, all since 99. Calhoun had 3, Kevin Ollie had 1, and now Dan Hurley gets what some believe is just going to be his first, and maybe more to come. But Storrs, Connecticut, it's not exactly a poppin' town, a town that is just known for producing basketball talent over and over in terms of high schools or whatever. But there have been some outstanding players that have come out of UConn. Ray Allen, Rip Hamilton. I mean, you think about some of the track record that Jim Calhoun was able to get to Storrs, Connecticut. And then last night, I know Sinogo is a All-American type caliber player, and they got a bunch of other guys that can absolutely fill it up at any given point. Newton and Hawkins and all the outstanding players that Hurley was able to get. And again, it's UConn. It's not some mecca. It's not some huge metropolitan area. And I don't know how much NIL they have compared to some other schools, which I thought was an interesting topic as well.
Well, they're within driving distance of New York City, in the most populated area of our country, so that didn't hurt to find great players to be in one of the most populated regions of the country. But we were talking about this last week, heading into the Final Four, that I mentioned them as blue bloods last week because 4 titles since '99 and now a 5th last night. That qualifies. And when you compare to Duke, when you compare to North Carolina, UCLA, I think, has 11, and they're the most all time. But that goes back to before I was born. So yeah. I mean, when you look over the last, I don't know, draw me a line, 1990. I mean, their first one for UConn was in '99, and to me, that makes it even more impressive. This is 5 titles in the last 24 years, 24 seasons. You stop and chew on that for a second. That's
more than 20%.
With 3 different head coaches. So it's not like
it's LSU-esque in football.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's good analogy. But it's not like you found the one guy. It's not like you were flat for a while. You were great, then flat, and then Nick Saban arrived and won you a bunch of titles, and the next guy didn't do anything. I mean, which may or may not happen at Bama, but you get my point. Mm-hmm. It's not like your Messiah has arrived. You've done it with 3 different head coaches. So there's clearly more to it than just you've picked the right head coaches. Jim Calhoun's the godfather of it all. Kevin Ollie wins one in pretty dramatic, shouldn't have even been in the tournament fashion, and goes all the way. And Hurley does it. So, I mean, there's obviously something to this program and what they're doing there to make it all work.
Yeah. And now we'll just have to wait and see what the odds look like heading into next year, who stays and goes for UConn. And, again, Arkansas's roster management is something that we'll be keeping an eye on as well. We'll also be keeping an eye on what's going on in Augusta this week, as it is Masters Week. How do you want it to play out? Lots to discuss coming up on the Morning Rush.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
Guys, I commend you. You're working at it. Good job. Thank you very much.
You're listening to the Morning Rush.
Hey, this is Chad Warner, product manager for Booyah Bait Company in Fort Smith, Arkansas. The hottest swim jig on the Arkansas River right now is the Booyah Mobster. It was designed by the Muddy Water Mob, a bunch of river rats from Arkansas and Oklahoma, and it's winning tournaments on Dardanelle and Kerr like clockwork. If you're fishing submerged vegetation, water willow, lily pads, you need a Booyah Mobster to reel them in. Available at lurenet.com and tackle stores throughout Arkansas and Oklahoma, the Booyah Mobster.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Hi, this is Melissa Vitale, owner of True Grit Running Company. Your young athlete deserves the best when it comes to footwear. After all, it's good to start early so they don't have problems in the future. We've got options for training, cross-country, gym class, and more. Our well-trained staff can guide your student athlete through our personalized fit process to help find that True Grit fit. And for our cross-country kids, we offer a 10% discount off of your total purchase. Visit our store in Fort Smith, located behind Chick-fil-A.
Have you received damage from the recent hailstorm? Call Freedom Roofing today. They are locally owned, licensed, and insured, dependable roofing company that will be here after the storm. Residential or commercial, they will be there step by step through the insurance process. Contact Keith Holt, 479-597-6777, or Rick Carlisle, 479-651-3247 today for an estimate on all roofing services. Solve your roofing problems with Freedom Roofing and sleep soundly beneath a sturdy roof tonight. Freedom Roofing.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. Westark Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact Westark Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drains, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. Westark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call Westark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
The Golf Nut has everything you need to make 2023 the best year ever. In stock now, Callaway Ping G430 woods and irons, along with tailor-made Stealth 2 woods. Schedule a fitting today. The new Titleist Pro V1s are here. Golf lessons are available. Call the shop and book a time, or just play a round of golf on one of the many courses like Pebble Beach or Bethpage Black. Stop by the Golf Nut today, 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith. Your #1 golf shop since 1994.
And we're back with breaking news. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any Coke fan, so make sure you... Jim. Jim. We're on the air.
Ooh, yes, this tastes like the best Coke ever to me. Your thoughts, Jen?
Well, can I have a sip?
Jen, we're in the middle of reporting the news.
I need to try it first.
Springtime is finally here, and Road Chevrolet in Van Buren has the savings you need. Enjoy a 6-quart full synthetic oil change for $59.95 with a tire rotation at no additional charge. And save money by getting a 4-wheel alignment for only $79.95. To save even more, if you've never met our service manager, Ronald Peters, come and shake his hand and save $20 off any other service. It's as easy as a handshake. Road Chevrolet Van Buren and Rhodes Tire Center. Prices you'll love, people you can trust.
Davis Floor Covering is having our semi-annual warehouse sale. It's happening April 6th through the 8th from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Rain or shine in our huge enclosed warehouse. At Davis Floor Covering, we have ceramic tile, vinyl plank, carpet, wood, laminate, all priced to move. So come by Davis Floor Coverings warehouse at 9705 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, at the east end of Rogers Avenue before you climb the hill to Barling. Follow Davis Floor Covering on Facebook for drawings in our monthly giveaway.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Good morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
He's ready at the bell. 2-2 to Diggs. A ball hammered to deep center field. Back is Pinckney. He leaps way out of here. Kendall Diggs does it again.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
Jamie May says 2024 is the year that Arkansas will win its next national championship. 64-94. The only question he has, will it be in basketball or baseball?
Not football? No consideration even for football, huh? Not even an option.
I mean, I wouldn't put it as an option. Next year.
Would anyone have thought that UConn would have been the national champion even just a few months ago, much less a year ago?
I will say they were outside the AP top 25 before the season, so there's some validation in that thought. But the level of difficulty to win a national championship in football relative to basketball and baseball, I think, is much more severe.
To not even put it on the multiple choice options. Oh, the disrespect. Where's my pearls? I need to clutch them.
I would put soccer, softball, baseball, basketball. Track and field's not even an option because they're probably going to win it that year. There's plenty of other sports I would put ahead above.
He didn't mention gymnastics,
football.
folks. The disrespect.
You put that up there too, but no, I would not put football up there. I wish I could wholeheartedly.
Sam, I hope you're hearing all this.
Authentically, and I hope that just motivates Coach Pittman and the guys in the locker room to prove this 28-year-old wrong. But I'm not going to do it.
He hates the Razorbacks, folks. Hates them.
That's what people think. When they think Ty Richardson, you think, that's a guy that just hates the Hogs. Hates the Hogs.
Shame. It is a shame. Hey, it is Taco Tuesday. Maybe we can get over this hatred that Ty spewed this morning with some dollar tacos. Everybody loves dollar tacos, and all day long. We may be rained out this afternoon. We'll see, but be a good place to hunker down. Dollar crunchy beef and chicken tacos all day long for lunch and dinner at Joe's. And they also have great live music every Tuesday as well. If you haven't followed Joe's on Facebook, do that so that you can see all the new music and live music schedule that they keep up there and up to date for you, plus the daily specials, things like Fajita Fridays. They have the dollar tacos on Saturdays, but Tuesday's always a good way early in the week to celebrate at Joe's Grill and Cantina. They're on South 74th Street across from Harps and Fort Smith.
I think anytime we talk about the Masters the next couple of days, this needs to be playing in the background. You mentioned hatred, tongue-in-cheek. Is there going to be some blood boiling this week with some tension with LIV or Liv and the PGA Tour?
Maybe, but I don't know how much we're going to see of it on TV. I mean, I don't know what CBS's thoughts are on how they'll frame this.
That was the
how much of this that the Masters and the people behind the scenes that really make all the decisions. And we like to think, well, CBS this, it's really a lot of the people at Augusta that will, with Chairman Fred Ridley and the other people that have a lot of say in it to how this will be framed. I think the last thing they want is, they being Augusta, is a lot of undue and unnecessary drama portrayed on their event. They want the golf course and the golf to be the star of the show. So I think there will be an effort to keep that from roaring itself in any way. Unless two guys are wrestling in the middle of the, 15th fairway coming down the hill, I don't think it's going to make a lot of headlines this week from the coverage. Now, will there be someone that writes about it, blogs about it, does a podcast on it? Perhaps. But I think 95% of us will consume our information about the Masters this week from CBS.
I think controversy was good for women's basketball. Nearly had 10 million average viewers. They busted over 12 at its peak. So while it's good for women's college basketball, as you just put, I wonder on the people behind the scenes that actually have the say-so if they even want to breach or approach that, because it is going to be a topic amongst golf fans about the controversy and the relationships between individuals that have been outspoken against one another. For example, Fred Couples called Phil Mickelson a nutbag and Sergio Garcia a clown. He's going to be there along with those two guys.
All former champions.
Yes.
All at the champions dinner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that was the other thing I was thinking about with Scotty Scheffler's champions dinner, where you're all in a compact room together. Now, certain guys are going to sit with one another for obvious reasons, but does the tension start there? Or is it cordial and people just get over it?
I think it's something we want to create in our head. Golf is generally a game of etiquette and being a gentleman.
Okay.
And if you can't be a gentleman and you can't show some etiquette, then golf, and particularly at the highest levels, I mean, this isn't your beer league on Tuesday night. This is Augusta. This is not this week, but this is the PGA Tour. And there are going to be conflicts and disagreements. And is there a major one in the sport? Yes. But, one of the things that's actually in the rule book of golf is about etiquette, So I think ultimately they'll take the high road because that's generally what golfers do. I mean, you just don't have a lot of, undue, unnecessary, injected drama in golf.
Now, I asked the question, what do you want to happen this week? Now, this is probably a bridge too far, but I would love to see Taylor Moore, former Razorback, or Mateo de Oliveira on Sunday, who's a current Arkansas golfer. Taylor's a former Arkansas golfer. I'd love to see them make it to Sunday. Will they? Probably not, based on how difficult that course is and the level of competition they're playing each round. But I think for an Arkansas twist and an Arkansas flavor, that would be awesome. I think every fan listening right now would love that to happen based on the ties to Fayetteville.
It is a challenge. I think the weather this weekend, particularly on Saturday and Sunday, could be challenging, and we'll see what happens. But that could also soften the greens. I mean, if you can work the ball and you're a good right to left player, you got some length off the tee, and whoever makes the putts is going to win the tournament. That's generally how this one works. So, is it the most challenging field in golf? Not always. I mean, that you do have a good collection of the world's top 100, but you also have a lot of ceremonial players in the field as well. But I'm with you. I'd like to see some former Razorbacks, be near the top of the leaderboard. Mm-hmm. But what I'd like to see is Rory McIlroy and, I don't really want to root for Patrick Reed, but Rory McIlroy and one of the stars of the LIV Tour be paired together going down the back nine on Sunday, making the turn, and Rory just wear them out. Generally, I'd root for any American over any foreign player, but I'm almost adopting Rory at this point. Rory's kind of the face for the PGA Tour. It'd be awesome if Tiger was in the mix. I'm not expecting that, so I'm not even going to throw that out there. That'd be the best thing for golf, is if Tiger was in the final pairing on Sunday, but I don't really forecast or see that happening.
Scheffler won it last year. He's played well this golf season based on what I read. I mean, you haven't had a back-to-back winner since Tiger, correct? And was it 01, 02? I think it's one last time back-to-back.
That sounds right. I'd have to look that up to know for sure.
I know some people are stuck on the idea that Scheffler's got a good shot to repeat, but past history tells us otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like trying to repeat as champion in about any other sport. It's almost impossible to do. Hey, if you're involved in a divorce or a custody case and you want an attorney that can guide you through the process, that you can trust throughout the entire process, the staff and attorneys at the Hickey & Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. They've seen and heard nearly every scenario that you can imagine. So whatever you're going through, Kevin Hickey and Brad Hall and their team are ready to put that experience to work for you, the client, and get you, that's right, you, the best result possible. So visit them at kevinhickeylaw.com or call 479-434-2414 and schedule your consultation with the Hickey & Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better. Hickey & Hole Law Partners, kevinhickeylaw.com, call 479-434-2414.
Share some Arkansas baseball news coming up. Also, some guys earning the portal, notable names you'd know.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
This is Tim Brando, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got puppies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Remember this top 10 hit from 1983? Boy George, I Think You've Got It. It's Church of the Poison Mind by Culture Club. The culture is continuing to poison the minds of our youth by clubbing them with everything but the truth. But when we heed God's word, He gives us the solution to all the gender confusion. The true poison is believing that evil is good and good is evil. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Think about it.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your college basketball betting this season. Get analysis of every play, prop, and point at BetOnline. You'll find the latest odds, bracket contests, team matchups, and game trends at BetOnline. Updated odds for everything from live games right through the Final Four and the championship game. BetOnline is where your college basketball headquarters are this season. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to sign up and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Be sure to use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your bonus. That's BLEAV. BetOnline.ag, where the game starts.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all. When you stay overnight, you want the accommodations to feel comfortable and feel like home. Well, at Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, you get exactly that. You can check out all their locations at bphotels.com. They have locations in Fayetteville, Bentonville, Little Rock, Jonesboro, Conway, El Dorado, Arkadelphia, North Little Rock, Bryant, Hot Springs, Ardmore, Oklahoma, and coming soon to Kansas City. bphotels.com. Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, looking forward to serving you in 2023.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
At Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. For to-go orders, give them a call at 479-783-9941. Find their menu at papaspub.com. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. The best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Good morning, Tommy, and I had a complete brain loss.
Runner not going, swung on, belted by Wagner to left field. If that ball's fair, it is out of here.
Subscribe to the Bud Light Morning Rush podcast. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, and share.
Thought we were going to have an Arkansas baseball game to talk about tomorrow morning and later on tonight, but the game's been canceled between Arkansas and Arkansas State. We'll give you more information coming up here on the Morning Rush.
Brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. The best brands like Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, and Alliance, always at the best prices. And at Wheels, you get the lifetime warranty with every new RV they sell. So you get the peace of mind when you pull off the lot for the first time that, hey, if anything ever goes wrong, Wheels is always there for you. That's all at Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with our friends at Wheels RV.
Due to forecasted inclement weather, the game has been canceled. later on tonight. Now, you were going to play a day earlier than you usually do, and against Ole Miss starting on Thursday. And I'm assuming that's just because of the Masters weekend in conjunction with that. That's why they're doing that for a lot of baseball teams.
This weekend?
Yes.
Easter's on Sunday.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the other. That would be the main reason why that's.
That would be the only reason why.
Okay. You've got single game tickets that if you were going to use them tonight, if you had them bought for tonight, can be exchanged for another game. They didn't give any information on if it was another SEC game, a midweek game. It just said another game based on availability. So I don't know if that means you're going to have a shot to.
You're talking about probably a lot of people with hog pen tickets.
Yeah.
Maybe a few that are up in, was it Mackey's Landing? I have not been up to that part of the ballpark yet, up there in that elevated porch out on the right field part of the new Performance Center. So, I mean, I don't know what percentage. 90% of the seats are reserved chair backs.
Mm-hmm.
Those won't be affected. But, yeah, you're talking about a few. You know, one of the things, and maybe we can talk about this later a little bit more, one of the things I was reading something over the weekend that the Yankees are offering, a few Major League teams are offering. I think this might fit Arkansas. Follow me on this. The ballpark's sold out, right? There's no reserved seats. You can't buy tickets right now. Yankee Stadium, a lot of the Major League ballparks, same way. But it's such a social. Would you say baseball's probably the most social of the sports? People go, they grill in the outfield. It's about drinking a beer. You may go for 4 or 5 innings and leave. It's about hanging out at the ballpark. They have a membership that you can buy on a monthly subscription that gets you into the park. You do not have a seat, standing room only. If there's an open seat, you can sit in it till someone comes. If they don't, fine. And they charge like $50 a month. And it just lets you in the gate. You can buy concessions. You can hang out. You can see people. You can come and go. But you can get in once a day for any game for $50 a month. I wonder if some version of that would work for Arkansas, where there are so many seats on so many days that are not filled because of the way the new ticket policy needs to work. And I get why they're doing what they're doing. But I think there are a lot of people that would pay some amount of money per month in, February, March, April, May for 4 months to just let me into the ballpark. Let me have a hot dog and a beer and I'll find an open seat, because so many of these games, there are noticeable sections of seats open. People could put their butt in, even though they don't have a reserved ticket.
Mm-hmm.
It's a newer idea that they're trying in a lot of bigger cities. Trying to get college students engaged, trying to get younger people engaged with the sport. There's so many people that feel left out with Arkansas baseball. I think this is something they ought to study and look at for next year.
You're giving the athletic department another way to make money?
I'm giving people a way to get into the ballpark that currently can't get in.
I know, but I think there wouldn't be a lot of pushback. What is the fire code amount of people that is allowed at Bob Walker? I don't know the max capacity that they would actually be. And I would think,
but I'm talking about games like what would have played tonight. I'm talking about games like midweek. And you can put, hey, we're only going to let so many of these, hog pen subscribers, whatever name, whatever marketing name you want to put on this. You can limit how many you let in. I mean, there's going to be games like the Tennessee series where there may be a limited number of those that are allowed to enter.
Mm-hmm.
But we all know there are far more games that have empty seats than there are games where every seat is filled. And I've yet to be to a game in a while where the concourse was full, the seats were full, everything was full. There was a lot of complaints over the weekend because the Cardinal parking, which is on the west side of Razorback Road, is never full anymore. They've moved all the common fans, if you will, over to Baum East across the street. That thing's a zoo to get in and out of. But yet all the ritzy parking across the street never gets used because those people aren't coming to the game on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
That's my point. These tickets aren't getting used. Let's create a mechanism that allows people in, makes some money for the university. I just wonder, as a fan, would you be interested in some kind of subscription? Let's just say it's $39.95 a month. If I lived in Fayetteville and I couldn't afford season tickets, why wouldn't I spend $40 a month to be able to get into the ballpark when I want? I can probably find a seat somewhere. Someone says, hey, that's my seat. I get up and I move. If not, I can stand on the concourse, eat a dog, and watch the game. If I was a college student or I lived in Fayetteville and I can't afford the $10,000 to sit and seats or the 5,000. I mean, it's expensive to what you have to donate to get baseball seats. I think there'd be a lot more people you think might be interested. Maybe you limit it to the first 1,000 subscribers or whatever. Might be $40,000 a month for the baseball program.
I don't think there's a lot of drawback or pushback from our listeners on that idea at all. I think that's college students. You get one of those student passes for $85, get you every sport event. I don't know how many college students would buy that, but anyone else, yeah.
Yeah, but if I lived and worked in Fayetteville and I love baseball, but the point is baseball is the most social of the sports. You go, you can have conversation. The ebb and flow of the game is not as intense. You're there more frequently, so you see, you get to know the people around you. They become like family. There's sections in that ballpark that have its own Facebook page, Section 101. So, I just think there's something to this that Major League Baseball and pro baseball in bigger places and bigger cities are exploring as a way to get more people engaged. Do you make some money? Yes. Do you get people in to spend money in your park? Yes. I don't see the downside. And with today's electronics, the way you scan tickets and the way you can know how many people are in your park at any given time, theoretically, I think there's got to be a way to, because of technology, make this work.
Now, you were speaking to the idea of having to cut people off. So what if someone buys one of these tickets that you have in the asterisk first come, first served basis? If you don't, how do you go
There's
about
a way to do it. Maybe there's a inside their subscription app or whatever that gives them the barcode to get them in. It says, all right, we're going to let 1,000 in today, and we've already let 700 in. You know before you go. Not everybody's going to go every day. But the point is, if you're like most fans, can't afford the tickets any longer. Can't give the $5,000 plus buy the tickets. A lot of the people that are, because they give a lot for football and basketball, and now they're buying baseball tickets, they're not going. Let somebody come in and sit in that seat. There's no good way to do it right now, but this subscription idea, I think, needs to be fleshed out in the athletic department, and maybe it's something. I bet they've already thought of this. I can't imagine that this hadn't come up if they're keeping up with current trends in sports. If I've heard about it and read about it, surely they have too.
Does the Morning Rush get a cut if we see something
no,
like this
I'm just saying,
or so?
It's just good for fans. And if the university makes a little off of it, great. They need money too. So I'm just thinking about how can people get into the ballpark for a lot of these games that otherwise are inaccessible for many.
JT in Laurel, Mississippi texted in. He's going to his first game. I guess it's not this weekend, but I would assume next week. Oh, he's at Ole Miss. Okay, he's going to at Ole Miss, so he's going to Swayze this weekend. I have not been to Swayze. I've been to Oxford once. Stay away from the student section because they do the beer showers. You don't want to get your phone soaked, your wallet soaked, your clothes soaked. Have you been to Swayze before?
Not been there, no.
Okay. Well, maybe if someone has been to Swayze Field, if you've got some advice for our friend JT, text in 877-377-6963. The only visiting SEC ballpark I've been to is Alex Box, and it wasn't really Alex Box because LSU was on the tail end of Paul and Maneri, and they were terrible. I didn't feel like I got the full LSU Alex Box experience. You didn't want to necessarily go 2 weeks ago because they're a juggernaut this year, and you got smacked around in games 2 and 3. Game one would have been fun to go to, but 2 and 3, not so much. I guess. The setup of the parks you want to visit baseball wise, Duty Noble, Alex Box, and Swayze. What order would you put that in? Duty Noble's the nicest.
Probably Alex Box just because it's Baton Rouge. I know there's going to be good food in Baton Rouge. And it's going to be good baseball. This year they're number one, and I know you caught them kind of at an off time, a lean time for them, but there's more ups than downs in Baton Rouge in baseball.
Yeah, they got a pretty good program. And
their stadium's not as nice, and you've been there and seen it. I've seen pictures. They don't even have chairbacks in most of their stadiums.
It feels like a minor league ballpark, to be quite honest.
It's all bleacher seating, right?
Yes.
They got some backs on some of them, but there's not chairback seats.
And it's not cardboard cutouts, Tommy, but they have those old poster type of, you know what I'm getting at? It felt like it legitimately. Now, it's not a minor league team because they're tremendous, especially this year. They've got an illustrious history. But it felt almost like a minor league ballpark. Again, I didn't go at the best time because LSU was terrible and Arkansas kicked their tail in games 1 and 2, and LSU luckily got a Game 3 win, but I didn't feel like I got the full experience, at least from a baseball vantage point down there.
Yeah.
But those would be some ballparks if you're an SEC fan that you want to go, an SEC baseball fan that you would like to visit at some point. I don't know how keen I am. I guess Hawkins Field at Vandy would be something I want to see just because Vandy has a really good team. You're going to Nashville in May. I think it's the third weekend in May, if I remember that right. But I don't know if there's any other baseball parks that I'd want to go to. I will say this about Stillwater. They built a tremendous ballpark in Stillwater, Oklahoma.
And they've had a very consistent program
Mm-hmm.
over there for years. I mean, that Arkansas matches up with them, as we saw in the postseason a lot because of the regionality. So they've been here, we've been there. So I don't imagine we've seen the last time that you go over there to Stillwater to that ballpark. But, thing Arkansas does, they just continue to add on and improve. I don't know what's next. I'm sure Dave and
it's a good question.
Administration would want, what do you have in mind? What is the next thing that 5 years from now you'd like to see in place at Baum Walker? Is it more seats, more permanent seating in the outfield? Is it, some have called for an upper deck. I don't know if that's a good idea, but that's more fans calling for that. What is next for that part? Because, there's been multiple times I've said, well, they've got everything they need. They got everything you could want. There's nothing else left. And then, you see the way it is today and, oh, man, that's great. So I don't know what would be next.
I'm of the belief you'd much rather have a packed-out stadium than a bigger stadium with seats open. And I feel that way about every single sport. We haven't seen a fully packed-out Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium with the exception of the Garth Brooks concert. We have not seen that thing maxed out all the way, standing room 80K. We have not seen that yet. We've seen a quality fan, or we saw a quality fan attendance when Alabama came to town earlier this year. Bud Walton, of course, has sold out. We saw the impact it had against Auburn a year ago. Baseball, we've seen that impact as well. But I'm always a little apprehensive, especially with the direction we are trending in sports, in people not wanting to go to games as much as they were in the past. Expansion nowadays is a little more worrisome for some. But, for example, Bogle Park, they've sold out. And it's probably going to get an expansion soon, I think. So
I don't know. I mean, you got to remember the dimensions of the park limit you to what you can do, and could they go down the lines a little more? Yes. The Bogle berm, could they put seats out there on the berm? Probably. I mean, there's a few. Yeah, could they add more permanent seating? Yes. But the thing with the softball yard is it's only so big.
Which I forgot the SEC tournament softball-wise is in Fayetteville this year.
That's good.
Until I got that email. You can request tickets on ArkansasRazorbacks.com. You can actually get them to the berm. Just
because there's the reserve seats for the season are just like baseball, sold out. No bueno. No luck getting any there, but you can get, and they're like $5.
They're cheap
to sit on the berm, and which. Again, the dimensions of the park make it a pretty good seat out there. I have not sat there, but I've seen, video and pictures from there because of the dimensions. I mean, you got a good seat even on that berm out there.
Yeah. Dennis brings up to my attendance point that television is a big part of why that attendance has gone down. When back in the day, you were lucky to get on television once or twice a year in football. And I know it's not always on linear television with SEC Plus, but you have at least most of you through your cable or dish or whatever subscription have access to it in some way, shape, or form. And that was not like it was back in the day because you occasionally got on CBS, you had a Jefferson Pilot, and then maybe one ESPN game for Arkansas.
But you also had an athletic budget of $40 million. Now your TV distribution is going to be nearly 60 when the new deal rolls around. So pick your poison. I mean, you can't have all the money. You can't have your cake and eat it too, as the old cliche goes. So if you want the money from TV, you've got to, part of it's going to be, and we're just lazy. It's just human nature. We're lazy. If I can stay home and watch the game, I'm going to have a better vantage point anyway. I'm going to know more about the contest. I'm going to get replays. I'm not going to pay over exorbitant prices for concessions. I'm not going to get frustrated trying to park and get out and get back into traffic and all those things. I mean, let's just be honest. Staying home and watching is easier.
Yeah, and
we're just creatures of easier. I mean, we like easy.
Yeah, and you and I are 20 years apart. nearly different stages of life. You've seen a lot more games in person than I have. I'm still without child and without a bride, so I don't have anyone to worry about myself. So driving 50 minutes Fayetteville and doing the thing, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, it's no big deal to me. And I love doing it just because I like seeing sports in person. Driving to Des Moines and going to Vegas and all that stuff, seeing that stuff in person, it to me is more appealing, even though I miss other action on Saturdays and I miss other NCAA tournament games. You miss other great baseball regionals and super regionals. I'd rather see Arkansas over any of the other stuff. But again, we've talked about you miss the NCAA tournament games and the other college football.
I mean, I wouldn't want to be at Augusta on Sunday. I want to be I want to be on my patio watching it. I want to have 2 TVs going and maybe have the Masters app or whatever going where you got Amen Corner coverage or something on one TV on the streaming. I mean, I just think you're more informed when you watch at home than you are in person. But I'm gonna tell you, for me, and maybe it's just I'm becoming an old man. But the fans run it. I mean, yeah, the parking and the concessions and the lines and all that, but the people and the way they behave in the stands and want to yell and scream and holler and ruin it for everybody within a 15-foot circle. And it's regardless of venue. They're always holding in football. They're walking in basketball. The coach doesn't know what he's doing. Kendall Briles last year didn't know what he's doing. I'm hoping Enos will this. I mean, when you're the guy that's had a little too much at the tailgate or just angry at life, I just enjoy the game. I mean, that's a big part of it for me. And it isn't necessarily the officiating background that I have that just is bothered by that. It's just I'm sitting there with my son. You're 3 feet behind me, and you are screaming from the top of your lungs for 2 hours. It wears me out. I get tired watching you get tired. I mean, I get tired. God Almighty, I just want to watch the game. Mm-hmm. And to me, that ruins it as much as anybody. I mean, if you want to holler every now and then, you disagree with the call, that's fine. That's part of the emotion of sports. But seemingly, and I think we all know who, that one guy in our section that's within a 10-foot earshot that it's unrelenting for 2 hours or 3 in football or more. That's exhausting.
Yeah.
And ruins the experience. And in football, it seems to come with more spicier language oftentimes.
Than basketball and baseball.
And, if you got your kids with you, you really don't want 3 hours of that in their ear.
Because Dylan never hears that at home.
No, I mean, that's not the point.
No, I get that.
It just ruins it. I mean, people ruin it for other people.
My language is a little spicier outside the hours of 6 to 9, so it doesn't matter as much to me at 28, but it does if I was around my nephews or nieces and they're all under 9 years old. I completely understand that. And
forget about if you're just going to watch the game.
Yeah.
Do you really want that for 2 hours? I mean, just like every 30 seconds screaming at a coach or a referee or an opponent. I mean,
the shrill voice. No,
man. I mean, I'm not saying be quiet and sit on your hands. I'm just saying.
Sounds like you need to move sections and seats.
It does matter. I mean, I've got tickets in multiple places in every venue.
Same thing.
And there's just always the guy that's just nonstop. Every game, and it's usually someone different.
Baylor Brad used to even get on to us when we booed the opposing team when they walked in. So watching the game with my father from about 5 to 18 years old is a lot different than how I take in games now. I don't say anything or do anything in the media section really just because I'm trying to write down notes and do that. When I'm watching with my friends, it's a little bit of different story, but sometimes I'm that person. Sometimes I'm sitting around my friends who are that person. I tend to agree with you. You don't want to ruin the experience, especially for a young fan.
I'm not saying don't yell at Calipari. I'm not saying don't yell at Wendell Green, wherever he's playing next time. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you can't yell at Nate Oates or Nick Saban when he comes back. I'm not saying you need to be of the utmost sportsmanship. I'm not waving the sportsmanship flag. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying give it a rest. I mean, you get one every 4 or 5 minutes. You don't get one every 30 seconds. That's my point. So I think there's a lot of fans that feel that way. It's just it becomes exhausting.
Jay agrees with you. He's in Cave Springs, and that's one of the reasons he quit going to football games is because
they're not holding on every play. I promise you they're not. Maybe every other play.
Just every other play.
The league office isn't trying to screw your team. I mean, and it's not that. I mean, it's just, but it's Kendall. Last year with Kendall Briles. I mean, he's just whoever it is. Everyone in the stand's a genius. They should be down on the field calling plays. I mean, it's just it never ends.
My thing with games, and again, I'm fortunate enough where I can get a credential and certain amenities that other people have to pay for. I'm afforded here thanks to we have some great sponsors, and I just don't want to be in a situation where I had a chance to go, and while it's fun to watch it on TV and watch it with your friends, I mean, I will always hold the opinion of being there in person for any great sporting event, particularly Arkansas, outdoes watching it with a bunch of people. You were talking about the social aspect at times. The thing that drives me nuts is when you're trying to watch a specific game, and this is probably more prevalent with the Super Bowl than anything else, is when people don't respect the game that you're trying to watch. They're talking, they're doing other stuff, and
that's what I'm talking about here.
Yeah, but I'm talking about when you're staying at home, watching a party, watching someone's house, and
I think that's true even in the venue.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
you don't have a right to run it for everybody around you.
Yeah, and I think there's social aspects to football, basketball, and baseball in Fayetteville. I understand that, and I also get when you're going to someone's house, you're hanging out with family members or friends watching games, you talk a little bit, but when it's during the course of the entire game, that's what drives me up a wall.
I'm just telling you, if I think it would be, if someone wanted to do I think what would be a sensation on YouTube is go to games and video people.
And then show
just go to, I don't care what level. 8th grade girls basketball, the Arkansas-Kentucky game in basketball. It doesn't matter. Football games, baseball may be the worst. And these are normal, sane people that usually, have professional jobs and professional lives, teach school. Hello, pastor, whatever it is, run the bank. And then they go to a game and it's like they lose their minds for 3 hours and act a fool. And that is my, hey, if you want to have that moment or two every 5 or 10 minutes, that's one thing. But just don't ruin it for 3 hours.
Arn says you sound like you're 78-year-old and a Walmart greeter.
That's why I don't go.
He says to get you a blue vest to be a Walmart greeter.
Blue's a good color on me. So
brings out your eyes.
But I would say the majority of the texters agree with me. Yeah, and that's why I go to 4 or 5 games a year.
Instead of all of them?
Instead of all of them anymore. Because it's exhausting. I go to relax and enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, this lady sitting behind me at the Kentucky game, she didn't let up for 2 hours.
Was it Miss Lisa?
No, it wasn't Miss Lisa. Miss Lisa would have been exhausted hearing all this. I mean, I'm just cheer for your team, boo the refs, that's all fine. Just come on. I mean, the stamina of some of these people is pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. So, but blue would be a good color for me, Orange. Appreciate you up early. I guess you probably had to get up early and pee at your age. Hey, we're brought to you by The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to new fencing, gates, and anything you need to control the access of your home or business. Yeah, there's a good old man moment. Get off my lawn. I'm going to put a fence up with a gate. Keep people like Orange and Ty out and people yelling and screaming. They can do that for you at The Fence Man. Plus, they need new people to join their team. They got more work than they can handle. 782-3936 for a job or a new fence with a Fence Man.
Roger Scott for Leaf Guard of Arkansas. When it's springtime in Arkansas, it's raining. And I talked to meteorologist Zach Scott, and he tells me that April is one of the highest average rainfall months in Arkansas. May I recommend some Leaf Guard gutters to you? You see, not only is Leaf Guard gutters the only true one-piece seamless cover gutter system on the market guaranteed to never ever clog with all that muck and mud and shingle grit, but with Leaf Guard, quality and durability are built in to handle 32 inches of rain per hour. That's 3 times more than ever recorded by the National Weather Bureau. Now, if we ever do get 32 inches of rain an hour, we better start building another ark. Leaf Guard Gutters of Arkansas is having home improvement days in April. $500 off a complete Leaf Guard system. New orders only. Minimum purchase required. Some restrictions may apply, but that's all the stuff that you can ask your sales associate about. Oh, and ask him to give you info on the 18 months no interest financing. Senior and military discounts are available as well. See if you qualify. Home improvement days at Leaf Guard of Arkansas. $500 off a complete Leaf Guard system. Hit them up at 501-664-5400 or leafguardandmore.com.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Are you watching the Lotto jackpot? It's over $2 million, and some lucky Arkansas player is gonna win it all. Get your ticket today at any Arkansas Scholarship Lottery retailer or on the Jackpocket app. It could be a life-changing decision, but there's only one way to find out. There's a Lotto drawing every Wednesday and Saturday. Get your ticket and play for this more than a $2 million jackpot. Good luck, Lotto players. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Like me.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Everybody's life is a journey, their own personal adventure, where every direction has a new trail to explore. Sometimes a little rough, sometimes a little muddy, but always exciting. So no matter which way you go, know this: that trail you're on is far too short to compromise.
Your next adventure starts at AutofindersOK.com.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company has 2 locations, 1316 South Zero and 200 South Zero Street in Fort Smith, serving the glass and glazing needs of Fort Smith, Northwest Arkansas, and Eastern Oklahoma, commercial and residential. Tub and shower enclosures, mirrors, glass table, and countertops cut to custom size are just a few services offered by Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company. Arkansas Glass and Mirror stocks laminate glass, plexiglass, Lexan, window glass, and mirror and plate glass. For more information, call 646-4300. That's 646-4300.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria is the #1 place to watch every Arkansas baseball game this season. During every Hog baseball game, you'll get $2 domestics at Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. For to-go orders, give them a call at 479-783-9941. Find their menu at papaspub.com. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. The best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag Technology without the headache.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, active weather expected to develop with strong to severe thunderstorms that may contain some golf ball size hail, winds 60 to 80 miles per hour, and there's a chance of tornadoes. So a few showers to storms on the increase today, highs right around 80 degrees. The worst of the weather moves through tonight, overnight lows in the 50s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
When it comes to your auto repairs, call W&W Automotive at 242-1600.
KERX Paris Fort Smith.
Hey, we can't make you a morning person, but we can make your mornings.
ESPN 95.3.
This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light, brewed with the best barley, rice, water, and hops to be America's favorite light beer. Bud Light, please drink responsibly.
Burley and the Huskies have their dreams come true.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden, and you're listening to the Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from hitthatline.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You guys know I am a student of pop culture.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
All right, it's hour number 2 of the Morning Rush on a Tuesday. One of Tommy's favorite things about the NCAA tournament, as is mine, it's one shining moment. And I didn't stay up and watch it, but I watched it this morning. That's something my dad got us to do when we were kids, something, a tradition that I'm assuming many of you do, is you stay up after the national championship game and you watch the compilation of the great highlights, great videos, great reactions that CBS throws together.
You look for your team.
Yeah, which Arkansas was featured in it 4 times. A Muss locker room video, the shirtless Muss, and then Ricky Council, AB, and I think Jordan were also in as well, as was Mekhi Mitchell getting rained on by Grady Dick. But that's neither here nor there. Arkansas won that game.
So is that a highlight?
Technically, an Arkansas favorite player was featured, and so I put out the 3 that were good this morning, and a fan pointed out, no, Mekhi was in this. And I was like, well, Grady Dick hit a 3 in his face. I don't know if you want me to include that, but I did. So technically, four
clips
Arkansas.
that totaled 3 seconds.
Yes,
yeah.
Very quick.
Oh, the disrespect. It's
better than you usually get, so I was happy to see.
You get what you earn, and then that's they've earned a better spot in one shining moment the last couple of years. One thing you got to have though, for it's late, man. It was 11, just a few minutes after 11 when all that rolled out last night, and I stayed up late for all this. Need a good DVR so you can go back and watch these things. And like me, you're struggling there at the end of the game, 2 minutes to go. All right, got to keep my eyes open. Toothpicks, keep them things up. DVR is the way to go, and World of Wireless with Dish can fix that up for you. They got plans that start at $79.99 a month, and Dish is up and ready to take care of you and your family. Masters Week, so you need high def in every room. Whole home DVR. You need the ability to watch on the go with the Sling built in. I know a lot of people got Easter plans and things with their kids, and kids are off school Friday for Good Friday and all of these things. So having accessible TV on the go, and you were mentioning being able to log in and watch the streaming versions. Like this past weekend, the first 2 games for Arkansas and Bama were on the stream. Well, if you have a plan that includes the SEC network, that gives you automatic access to those things as well. Mm-hmm. Call Ben at World of Wireless, 877-305-DISH, and they will figure out a great plan for you and get you installed before this weekend. That's 877-305-DISH for WOW, World of Wireless.
Bruce Stanton's going to join us about 15 minutes. He's out fishing. Tom Murphy's going to join us in about an hour. We'll get his reaction to some Arkansas baseball and the national championship last night. And as I just said, one shining moment was great down the stretch.
Oh, when you hear that music, you know what time it is.
It's finally time to do some dancing.
The waiting is over, and the curtain's set to rise.
The madness has begun.
Hello, friends. Ready to make a few shining moments?
The ball is tipped, and there you are. You're running for your life. You're a shooting star, and all the years, no one knows just how hard you work.
What do you think is more iconic, this song or the CBS March Madness music? What do you think people
the
connect
CBS
more?
music.
It's that one?
Yeah,
Okay.
no question. Because you hear it a lot more. This is a once-a-deal. Now, when I was a kid, this was appointment TV. There's no question that you were staying up late. you want to see your team, but I always geeked out on this kind of stuff because this was fairly new in the late 80s, early 90s. I'm not sure when they introduced this. And Luther Vandross, who I believe has passed on. I think he's in the big arena in the sky at this point, I believe. But he was the first, and they've done some different vocalists along the way, but Luther Vandross was the best version of this, and I think this is a different mix or version of his One Shiny Moment. I'm not sure what the origin on this song was. Maybe you know. Was this song written for this? I don't believe so. I think it was adapted for this, but whoever came up with this was a marketing genius because what it did was it held a lot of people through the postgame show, through the nets being cut down, and it gave you a reason to watch all the way to the end of the telecast.
I watched the 1994 One Shining Moment. Of course, Arkansas winning the national championship, which by the way, on this day in 1994, Arkansas eclipsed Duke and won 76-72 over the Blue Devils. And I had forgotten, of course, Grant Hill's on the broadcast, but that would have been Duke's third title in 4 years if they had beaten Arkansas. You beat the team of the 90s that year. I know Arkansas had one of the better winning percentages in the 90s thanks to Nolan Richardson, all the great players he had. But that 94 One Shining Moment, I bet a lot of Razorback fans can remember the highlights and exactly where they were when they watched that.
I'm not generally, let's talk about the announcers guy, but is it time to overhaul that whole thing now that Jim Nance is out?
Tell me, get rid of Raftery and get rid of... is it Rafferty or Raftery?
Raftery.
Okay, Raftery.
I think that whole thing is... And Grant Hill is offering, like, nothing.
You don't like Grant Hill?
Well, I think he states the obvious. I mean, I could go do that. I could go just state the obvious.
Yeah.
They're playing with excitement, Jim. He's dribbling with confidence.
Now, this... Yeah.
Oh, my Lord.
The deal with Raftery is, I met him in person last year in San Francisco, and he was about as nice a human being as on earth. And so I really don't want to see him go from the broadcast. And I get everyone has their time. I brought this up earlier. Did Packer get removed or did he retire?
I think he just retired, but that thing worked because it was Jim and Billy, and it was a two-person booth. And I think three's too many.
I agree. I will absolutely stand up with you on that for a basketball game or a football game, for football, you need a sideline reporter, maybe one on each sideline during a championship game, a analyst, and the play-by-play person. Ian Eagle's going to take over for play-by-play next year.
Wrong choice.
And you think it should have been Kevin Harlan.
Absolutely.
And I would agree with you on that. And you think Kevin Harlan should have been hired by Fox when Troy Aikman and Joe Buck left for ESPN, which I will also agree with you on. Eagles respected. He seems to be well liked, but Harlan,
he's bland though.
Yeah, Harlan I think is the more iconic voice. I don't know what they're planning on doing if they're going to have.
I
both
thought they were just going to plug him in Nance's spot and roll with the same two, but I think they need to get. I don't know. We're all Jimmy Dykes folks here, but someone like a Jimmy Dykes, a Jay Billis, a strong commanding voice in college basketball, and unfortunately, probably the strongest analyst voices in the sport work for ESPN. I don't know if you can pry them away for essentially 3 weeks of the year, but I don't know how that works. But that's what they need. Billy Packer was the mainstay there. He was the anchor to that broadcast for decades.
And I know he's no longer with us, but there doesn't seem to be a lot of love lost for Billy Packer once Arkansas fans.
But he was a constant. He was a North Star for March Madness and NCAA basketball on CBS.
I personally like Jay Billis, and I know not everyone does, but Herbie is the guy for college football. Billis, is that the college basketball voice? When you think college basketball, is it Jay Billis? From a broadcasting standpoint?
I probably think more Jimmy Dykes, but that's probably my local bias and my conference bias.
Yeah.
Because Jay Billis doesn't do he does some SEC games, but he does the national game of the week or whatever on Tuesdays, and he's more all over the place, and so that's probably just more my bias than anything. I think Jimmy does a great job with what he does. So, but that's probably more along those lines. All right, we got your Morning Rush Daily question coming up, plus Bruce Stanton from Pradco Fishing going to stop in here in just a second. Talking about baseball and all these things going on the Hill. Ty, you always got to get by CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers and get you a great burger or a grilled chicken sandwich.
Yeah, congrats to Keith and his team in Northwest Arkansas. They just won the best for cheap eats, burgers, and second for fries. So if you haven't stopped by and see him at his Weddington location, be sure to do so. CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best. All right, Morning Rush Daily Question. Favorite news person? That's next.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
I love listening to y'all. You're a really intelligent group of sports broadcasters.
You're listening to the Morning Rush.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Remember this top 10 hit from 1983? Boy George, I Think You've Got It. It's Church of the Poison Mind by Culture Club. The culture is continuing to poison the minds of our youth by clubbing them with everything but the truth. But when we heed God's word, He gives us the solution to all the gender confusion. The true poison is believing that evil is good and good is evil. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your college basketball betting this season. Get analysis of every play, prop, and point at BetOnline. You'll find the latest odds, bracket contests, team matchups, and game trends at BetOnline. Updated odds for everything from live games right through the Final Four and the championship game. BetOnline is where your college basketball headquarters are this season. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to sign up and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Be sure to use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your bonus. That's BLEAV. BetOnline.ag, where the game starts.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
One call cleans it all.
When you stay overnight, you want the accommodations to feel comfortable and feel like home. Well, at Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, you get exactly that. You can check out all their locations at bphotels.com. They have locations in Fayetteville, Bentonville, Little Rock, Jonesboro, Conway, El Dorado, Arkadelphia, North Little Rock, Bryant, Hot Springs, Ardmore, Oklahoma, and coming soon to Kansas City. bphotels.com. Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, looking forward to serving you in 2023.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Golf
golf lessons are available. Call the shop and book a time, or just play a round of golf on one of the many courses like Pebble Beach or Bethpage Black. Stop by the Golf Nut today, 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith. Your #1 golf shop since 1994.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. It's time for the Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess.
I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
It is Hug a Newsperson Day. Now, we each, over the years, whether we're kids, adults now, whatever, have our favorite newsperson. There are many icons that are in this industry. I grew up watching Craig O'Neill, who he did sports, and now he's done anchor, retired, done all that. He's retired, right? Or is he still?
He was more known as a radio man than he was TV man.
And he's done a lot of stuff growing up in Little Rock at THV. I watched Brett Baer a lot of times with my my grandpa, but I know a name that, and really a voice that all of you recognize, is this one right here.
This picture has just been transmitted by wire. It is a picture taken just a moment or two before the incident. If you can zoom in with that camera, we can get a closer look.
You know that voice, right?
Cronkite, right?
It's Walker Cronkite. So, again, a lot of you have the favorite news person or news, is it PC, you got to say newswoman or whatever the case may be. Katie Couric, whoever, you have that person you watched growing up or you watch now, whatever the case may be. Who's
well,
yours?
When I was a teenager or kid, whatever, the big three on the national news were Tom Brokaw, Peter Jennings, and Dan Rather.
Okay.
And they were battling it out at 5:30 every night local time to see who could win the national TV war. I grew up in an era, and a lot of people watch Darren Bob now on Channel 5. I remember Burr Edson. He was the kind of the anchor of record, and Craig Cannon was around for forever.
Is that his real name, Burr, or is that a TV name?
No, that was his name, B-U-R, Burr Edson.
Burr Edson.
And he was the local newsman of record in the River Valley. So those are some names that come to mind for me. So
that was that's what Joe says. Do you know who Charlie Tigert is?
Yes, she was the co-anchor along with Burr for many years. So
news today, it's more two anchors, right? But back in the day, it used to just be one, more prevalent, right? Or is it?
It's been both. I mean,
Okay.
but mainly two anchors. Yeah.
Okay.
And for probably the better part of 40 years, a male and a female.
Charles, who's Charles Saucer? Do you know who? Again,
He was an old weatherman at 4029. Yeah.
Start rattling off names that that you might know that I don't know. And I know you give me a hard time from time to time because I don't watch the news. I know that's customary for a lot of you listening that at night, or like Tommy's talking about, 5:36 or 8, 9, 10, whatever the case may be.
The phone has changed the way. They were talking about this last week. I went on a rant about the phone and how it's ruined everything. We're always available, but I don't watch much local news anymore. I already know what it is. It's right here on my phone. We get alerts and updates, and the weather's right here, and all these things. Then local news isn't what it once was, just because it's right here on our phone.
Garrett Lewis is more new. That's who Nick likes
Those are
watching.
weather
The
guys.
Weatherman.
Yeah.
John Chandler is another weatherman on Channel 5.
Well, you're going back to, when I was small boy then.
Paul Harvey.
I remember Paul Harvey. I don't know. I remember him on TV. I remember him as a radio man, and Paul Harvey's The Rest of the Story. He'd have his daily noon or so newscast, and then there would be a Rest of the Story that'd run usually on a radio station later in the day, and that was the staple. That was a radio thing.
It's a big difference back away. And a lot of, I know when I was in school, the whole thing is a multimedia journalist, because like you're talking about, you have to be accessible, not just when you're doing your television broadcast, doing the VOSOTs and all that. Man, it's been a while since I've done any of that TV stuff, but you've got to be able to do social media. You've got to be able to do YouTube clips and stuff. There's so many different things that you have to get to people now with them on their phones 24/7.
Yeah, so it's never ending. All right, that's your Morning Rush Daily Question. It is brought to you by Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. log on at redriverdodge.com.
All right, let's welcome in Bruce Stanton of Pradco Fishing now. We'll talk some national championships, some SEC baseball. Bruce, did it turn out like you thought it was going to last night between the Huskies and the Aztecs?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was just another UConn blowout. Kind of what I expected, and they sure got hot in their NCAA tournament run, something that I don't think when they lost to Marquette in the Big East tournament, most people saw that run coming, just the line of double-digit blowouts. And, it was impressive, no doubt.
One of the largest differentials in NCAA tournament history, what they averaged. They had the second largest of the season, only behind Houston. They did struggle in January, but thoroughly dominated each team. And really outside of the Iona first half, no one really gave them much trouble throughout this run.
Think about this, guys. 25-year run for UConn here. They've won 5 national titles since 1999. Any guess on how many times you think they've missed the tournament in those 25 years? Because the debate is, are they a blue blood? I think 5 titles in 25 years certainly puts you in that conversation. Any guess what their resume looks outside of those 5 years?
Less than 5, if that's what you're getting at, I would guess.
How many times do you think they missed the tournament altogether, Bruce?
3.
8 times.
Oh, wow.
8 times 25. That's 33%.
7 times they didn't make it out of the first weekend. So that's 15 of the 25.
That's great places with them.
They've won 5 national titles, 5 conference titles in those 25 years. And they've also had the fortune, or however you want to look at it, they played 3 title games against a 5 seed or worse in that time. Now, these are Bobby Reagan from Barstool Sports put that together. But, you know, that's just analyzing kind of what their 25 years has looked like. And, you know, there's ups and there's downs, but as 5 titles in 25 years is hard to deny. They're one of the blue bloods of the sport now.
Yeah, 3 different coaches, so they've done it many different ways. Obviously, Calhoun started it, got it going, but, you know, Kevin Ollie won one before he unceremoniously left, and, you know, now Danny Hurley's the most famous Hurley brother, so that's pretty amazing.
But what that tells me is, you know, I'm not suggesting Arkansas is getting ready to go on a run where they win 5 in 25 years, but what it tells you is, particularly in today's NIL world, transfer portal world, you can capture lightning in a bottle. And I think that's what UConn has done more than anything with 3 different coaches. How many different conferences in that 25 years, too? That'd be the other thing I'd like to, because they were in the Big East, out of the Big East, back in the Big East, or a new, different Big East. You know, think about that, too, that, you know, the possibility of Arkansas and many other schools catching lightning in a bottle. Because I think that's what UConn has figured out how to do about 3 different times is catch lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, and, you know, when you looked at the regular season record, they were 13-7. I mean, they had an ugly loss to St. John's. They lost to Providence. They lost to Xavier twice. I mean, no one – you're right. They caught lightning in a bottle at tournament time, kind of like an NC State type deal under Valvano. But, you know,
they're the national
you don't
champs.
see lightning in a bottle where you're just blowing people out double digits 6 games in a row, though. That's pretty amazing. They
were the best team the last 3 weeks for sure, and maybe longer than that. But you bring up St. John's, and that was the next point is, they lose by double digits to Mike Anderson. Mike Anderson gets fired. You know, he had one of the more dominant wins over UConn in a tough conference, and, you know, he's out, and UConn's the national champions. That's how cruel this sport can be.
Yeah, it's a very cruel sport, and you know, probably a few years down the road, no one's going to remember Final Four, Elite 8 runs by all these great teams. But you know, UConn, they're going to hang that 5th banner up, and I guess Gino's got 11, so they're getting halfway to what he's got. They're going to have 16 banners up in Gamble.
You mentioned lightning in a bottle. I didn't see any Molotov cocktails in stores, but they were tearing that place up last night. I mean,
still another thing I have not. Hey, my team wins. Let's go destroy property. I've never understood that.
And maybe it's something I'd have to ask people who are on Dixon Street after the '94 championship or after the '64 win. But that, even as a dumb 28-year-old, that thought has never occurred to me. You know, Arkansas just
it's
wanted
a mob mentality.
Yeah, but
don't you think Broyhill and all the furniture companies hope West Virginia wins the championship? How many sofas would they burn if they won something big, if that ever happened?
Yeah, then there'd be a run on all the furniture stores in Northwest Arkansas to get as much as possible. I didn't think about that, so maybe they're cheering for an Arkansas national championship, amongst other reasons. Bruce, we were kind of talking before the show about the transfer portal. I don't know if you've seen some of the guys that have entered. Max Admis of Oral Roberts, LJ Cryer out of Baylor. Of course, Caleb Love, who I don't think has decided on a school. You also got, and remind me, who's the Vandy kid that entered that we were talking about a week or so ago?
Jordan, the guard. Jordan,
Cameron Armstrong, whatever. He's outstanding. He's a really good player, about 6'6" guy. I mean, this is transfer portal basketball is loaded right now. Football.
Olivier Kamala at Tennessee in the portal. You know, I don't know. The NCAA, I'm sure they thought they knew what they were doing, but it's just getting the borderline ridiculous where you're getting that fifth year for really no reason now. I just don't really understand why it's come to this. Hopefully it'll change one day, but you know, we're all dealing with it. We're all dealing with re-recruitment of 4-year starters.
Wendell Green
Adams will make someone a good player.
Yeah. Wendell Green also in there, the former Auburn guard. I guess technically he could come back, but it's got to be an awkward situation for coaches, Tommy, because of course you want to keep that said player. At least most of the time, that's the situation, and you can't really diminish or tear him up on the way because it hurts recruiting. Like, you're mad that he's leaving, but you also have to be kind to him on a social media and standing, or you're going to get blasted, basically.
But unless I've missed something, you know, all the players that have made their intentions known for next year are all exploring professional basketball, right? No one said, hey, I'm just entering the portal, not, you know, I'm looking to play somewhere other than Arkansas. And that, you know, that's coming because if Arkansas starts bringing in, the math just dictates somebody's got to leave, or two players, or whatever the math ends up dictating. So those are some of the other shoes that guys have to drop over the next, I don't know how many days or week or whatever, but we all know it's coming, right? It could be any minute now on Twitter that a player announces he's entering the portal from Arkansas, and you'll know pretty quick what that means.
And that brings up a good point. If you're Eric Musselman, do you set a deadline with the players that are deciding on, hey, you have to make this decision by this point, or not on the team? I mean, how do you go about navigating that as a head basketball coach in today's world where you have guys that are in the draft, hitting the portal, you're bringing guys in out of high school, and that? Do you have to have a staunch set date? You have to make a decision by this day, or so-and-so?
You're assuming the player gets to make the decision.
And
yeah,
well, he does in the sense if he wants to leave. I mean, he could tell he didn't even have to talk to the coach. He just
I understand that, but I think there's also a lot of this that may be framed as the players made a decision, but the player was told, hey, you're not going to play here.
Yeah.
You need to move on. So I mean,
well, there's a difference between saying, hey, if you stay, probably not going to get much PT next year, or I think it's best for both parties to leave.
This isn't 85 scholarships. This is 13. So a coach doesn't have the luxury of just holding on to a player to put him on the practice squad. You can't be on the scout team, you know, as a scholarship player in basketball, Bruce. I mean, basketball coaches in today's NIL and in today's transfer portal world, they're just thinking about who are the best 13 I can put together. I mean, that changes year to year.
And you look at what happened last night. You got two coaches that believe in a deep bench, playing 9 players, and you look a lot of the SEC schools will play 6, 7, maybe 8, but real small rotation. I think NIL guys or transfer portal guys are looking, where can I go play? And if I can't start, can I get a lot of minutes for a good team? And I think that kind of puts pressure on some of the SEC coaches for just how they're using their personnel right now. And I think that stuff gets talked about, used for you, used against you. It's, guys want to play. There's no doubt.
These are one-year rosters anymore. That's the thing we got to resign ourselves to. And, yeah, you may see some carryover. You may see a few players, particularly if you're at a school. And I don't know how many Arkansas, we know they got a couple of guys that played in the McDonald's All-American game. I don't know that Arkansas is going to become one of the premier destinations for one-and-done caliber players. But we all need to be resigned to the fact, I think we are, kind of stating the obvious, basketball rosters are 1-year increments anymore. I mean, and if you get 3 or 4 return players, you're probably ahead of most in today's game.
I don't know if y'all saw Mike Gundy's comments, but he said that they should sign scholarships 1, 2, 3, and 4-year increments. That's how he's suggesting scholarships should be distributed now on, is if you want to sign a 1-year scholarship, you can do that. That gives the coaches an idea of this player is going to be at least here, but you can't leave. It's either 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. I don't know if that would. I know.
Well, what do you do with the signing limit?
Well, we're not going to listen to somebody that don't know what T-shirt to wear when they go fishing. So I don't know about that.
I was just a suggestion he had. I don't know if there's any merit to that whatsoever. And like you said, the signing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you'd still sign a certain number of players, and
but you've had the limit, then you could carry forward. I mean, if you had a bunch of, let's just say half your roster, and now the portal has changed the way we do the math. But for years we had that 25 signee limit, and then the portal came in, and I can't follow all the math, but some of that stuff would have to give way too. So, but I'm like Bruce, we're not going to necessarily listen to Mike Gundy for the direction in the future of the sport. So.
No, not for hairstyles or wardrobe or anything.
He doesn't even know what conference he may be in 2 years in football. So
no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Hey, one thing, Ty, it was interesting. I was listening to y'all talk about media personalities in Northwest Arkansas. When I was the sports editor at the Southwest Times, we used to have a media league, and like Craig Cannon and Ken Rank from 4029 would come out and play basketball, softball. Ken Hughey, Kerry Toby, Corey Barron from 1005 would come out. And, we'd play half court 5-on-5, and we'd play softball out at Ben Guerin, and always had a little media event several times a year. We used to have fun with that. So Ty, you should try to get Tommy out there and play some hoop with some of the old folks.
I bet you used to whoop them up, didn't you, Bruce? Back in your heyday, back in your
my
prime?
20s, the left-handed hook. I got to say, it was a pretty thing.
Everybody wanted to be Kareem, right?
I know I've advocated to Eric Musselman before about a media basketball event. Now, COVID kind of prohibited that, and then of course he's got other focuses. But I think that would be a good fun. You need to play some. Do you play any leagues at all? I know you're busy and stuff, but did you play any leagues when you were closer to my age, Tommy, at all?
Oh yeah,
softball.
I played softball.
My dad.
Golf was, of course, the sport I played most. But yeah, we didn't have a lot of that stuff. I mean, as far as media leagues and stuff, when
would you just play with your buddies or anything?
Yeah, we played. I mean, when I was a kid, we had a goal in the cul-de-sac. Played, but
Grand Avenue Baptist Church used to have a pretty good noon men's league, and I think we always had an ambulance there because somebody'd always take an elbow to the nose or break something. I only played that 1 year. It was not physically conducive.
The only thing more physical than prison league ball is church league ball. There's no question.
That'll rough you up. The church league ball will make you, man, when you're playing some older guys that are 2 or 3 times your age, and they'll grab you, hold you, hit you, and do whatever they can to get out of screens and stuff.
One of the few places you should play on carpet a lot of times. They have a carpet court.
Get some rug burns.
It's the gold standard as well. Hey, I know that moon phase is getting about right, Bruce. Now it's kind of prime time for a lot of people. I know you're looking at Broken Bow and some of the local lakes for that bass fishing right now.
Well, I'm on Broken Bow right now as we speak. My digital marketing manager, Ryan Sufferin's running the boat while I'm back here talking to y'all. So I've missed fish for about 10 minutes. So I'm ready to throw this Elder's Magic Yum Dinger and June Bug Thumping Dinger on a 1/8 ounce War Eagle jig head. That's mainly what we're doing. Ryan's throwing a new Yum Helgramite on a shaky head, and we're just targeting fish. They're not coming up like they should be right now. Water temperatures in the high 50s. So it's been kind of hit and miss when the sun's out and warming the water up. These fish are getting shallow, and we've got a cloudy night after cloudy day after some storms push through, a little cooler, and fish just aren't coming up yet, but they will. We're here till Saturday, so at some point they're going to come up, and we're going to catch a bunch of them fishing Yum products.
Yeah, so I know that these storm fronts have moved through, and like you said, the colder water temperatures really kind of affecting things right now. So kind of laid out a good game plan. I know a lot of people will be out this weekend. Going to be a busy month on the water, and gave some good advice there, maybe what to take along. But all right, we'll let you get. Go ahead.
I was going to say one more thing. When in conditions like this, you throw a Booyah Blade spinnerbait, double wheeler, or a Smithwick Original suspended Rattling Rogue and Chrome Black. We've been working some of the main lake points and islands and catching fish where the wind's hitting it. The water's still a little stained here at Broken Bow. Works better in clear water, but don't be afraid to mix it up a little while you're waiting on them to come up and throw that dinger in their face.
See, Ty Bruce has got a really hard choice to make next week. Do you go fishing when it's some of the best fishing of the year, or to the Arkansas-Tennessee series next weekend? I mean, Bruce, you got some hard choices next weekend.
I have to work a Bass Pro Shop store grand opening in St. Louis, so I'm actually going to take in a Cardinals Pirates game with my son Cole, and then we'll work the grand opening and tell everybody about our products. They got 160 new store associates they've hired, so we got to train them up.
You going to be out of town the whole weekend?
We'll be out. We'll get back Saturday.
Oh well, maybe we can get you there for Sunday's game. So
it's a shame we're out of tickets for Tennessee fans, Bruce. We ran out.
Well, I don't want Bruce to miss Arkansas winning the series or sweeping the series.
That's a great point. Just have a video cam on Bruce.
I want to see when Arkansas sweeps the series on Sunday. So, all right, Bruce, enjoy your time on the water, and we'll see you next week.
All right, guys. Good talk.
Hey, Bruce Stanton, Pradco Fishing with us here on the morning. I know a lot of people, making their plans. It's the big month for bass fishing, big month to be on the water. So,
I've got plenty of friends that will be doing that, just fishing this upcoming season. As basketball season has concluded, weekends have opened up a little bit. You've got, of course, baseball season for weekends like this. Team going to Oxford, not playing tonight. Just a reminder, Arkansas State game has been canceled. But they will have, again, the games in Oxford this weekend, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for games because of Easter, not because of the Masters weekend. Easter, I learned that this morning.
You thought they moved baseball because of the Masters?
You always talk about how important the Masters is, so I just assumed Masters Sunday. They don't want to go up against Masters, and then, of course, I forgot it was Easter.
You know how they
Sunday
determine when the Final Four is, don't you?
You said it's a week before the Masters.
They figure out when the Masters is, and then the Final Four is the week before.
Yeah,
so.
No, that makes sense. Some odds on the Masters right now, Tommy. Rory McIlroy is tied with Scotty Scheffler for the best odds right now. Some of the other notables that you expect: John Rahm, Jordan Spieth, Justin Thomas. Do you ever make golf bets around the Masters? Do you ever?
No, but I just got the Bet Saracen app pulled up here, and I bet there's some fun stuff on there. I bet I didn't look to see what they've got up for the Masters, but I bet it's going to be fun. Like you said, I was looking at first round leader. Let's see, they even got some futures on the other majors, U.S. Open and the PGA. So I may, I may check this out this week. I wonder what they'll have in round. I have not bet golf live during the event, so I bet that's going to be fun this weekend at the Bet Saracen app.
I'm pulling up the Masters menu right now. What's the best food there for $1.50 or $2? I mean,
pimento cheese sandwich or egg salad sandwich are the staples there.
Okay,
that is one of the things that if you've not been or you've never been, concessions are just outrageously cheap. I mean, you go anywhere else. I mean, what was it? I got popcorn and a Coke at a Razorback baseball game. It was $15 the other day. You could feed the whole family for $15 at Augusta. I mean, it is just outrageous how cheap. I mean, how inexpensive they've made it on their patrons. So, yeah, egg salad or pimento cheese sandwich is something you got to have when you go to Augusta. Hey, we talked about being on the water a minute ago. Another place we like to go and hang out is at Gaston's White River Resort. When I was there last, I fished with my buddy Sean White. He's one of their guides, in fact, one of their top guides that can really put you on the big fish. I was looking at Facebook yesterday, and he had been out with several groups recently and put up some of the better catches. They had just caught some really big rainbows and some trophy browns. And the bite is really good. And that's the thing that sets Gaston's apart. They got the guides that know because they fish every day on the White River. They know where the fish are at. They know what's biting. They know what's working day in, day out. So that's why you want to go to Gaston's and get with one of their expert guides. Book one today, 870-431-5202. Gaston's, a first-class time every time.
Streaming live from hitthatline.com.
Hey, this is Alan Hahn from Bart Hahn on ESPN Radio, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Semaglutide is a weight loss game changer. That's what the medical community is saying about the latest FDA-approved weight loss medication. Vici Aesthetics and Wellness is offering a detailed program to all of Arkansas, in-office or telemedicine visits available. So to schedule your medical consultation and get started on the #1 prescription choice by medical professionals for safe and effective weight loss while also reducing cardiovascular risk factors, call or text 479-343-8424. 479-343-8424.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where we've got a great group of people ready to work hard to help you do whatever it is you're trying to do. Maybe you need to buy a car, sell a car, repair a car. Maybe you're just asking for a friend who has a question about a car. We're here to help. All the happiest customers are rolling with Rath. By the way, visit us on Facebook and check out this month's Winning and Grinning Give-A-Palooza. Who knows what you might win? Maybe a Meineke mile service contract or a prepaid maintenance plan or a set of tires. It's fun and it's free, and just one way we say thanks to all of our friends and family who support and promote our business. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. 15 minutes from everywhere, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
With everyday low prices on top brands, locally owned Yeager's Ace Hardware is committed to offering real service with real savings. Get these red-hot values at any of our 4 locations. 10-inch hanging baskets, only $7.99. Whitney Farms Organic Raised Bed Mix is only $6.99. And Ace 5,000 square feet Weed and Feed for the unbeatable price of $15.99 with your Ace Rewards card. Limit 2. Find more everyday low prices online at YeagersHardware.com. Yeager's Ace Hardware, offering real service with real savings.
And we're back with breaking news. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any Coke fan, so make sure you... Jim. Jim. We're on the air.
Ooh, yes, this tastes like the best Coke ever to me. Your thoughts, Jen?
Well, can I have a sip?
Jen, we're in the middle of reporting the news.
I need to try it first.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey & Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey & Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit KevinHickeyLaw.com or give them a call today, 479-434-2414. Hickey & Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote. Get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria is the #1 place to watch every Arkansas baseball game this season. During every Hog baseball game, you'll get $2 domestics at Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. For to-go orders, give them a call at 479-783-9941. Find their menu at papaspub.com. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. The best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Arkansas wins the national championship! The Arkansas Razorbacks have completed the dream season!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Jerry echoes what you said about the pimento cheese sandwich, Tommy. He's been, and he seemed to really enjoy it when it came to selection on Masters.
Masters concessions are unique and very affordable.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Cody, to our betting question, offered up the idea of betting the house on Scotty Scheffler. Again, it's been over 20 years since someone's won back-to-back. Tiger is the last one to do so, and I think it's happened only 3 times in history. Tiger, and I would guess Jack has done it, and I don't know who the other person.
I don't know. I'd have to look that up, but it's golf. I would not bet the house on anybody.
Yeah, doing it again. All right, let's get into your Hog Update this morning. Brady Tiger, Dave Van Horn at the Swatters Club yesterday, hoping he's back by the end of the month. Of course, don't want to get him hurt again. I have to wait and see on that, but definitely the biggest tidbit out of Dave Van Horn's conversation with the Swatters Club yesterday.
And if you were watching some of the broadcasts over the weekend, they showed a clip before the game. During the game, they showed this video from before the game of Tiger soft tossing or throwing in the bullpen. So he was in uniform. He was doing a little work in the pen. So that tells me progress is being made, and they're at least letting him have some kind of throws with his arm right now.
Arkansas checks in at number 5 in D1 Baseball's rankings. A lot of SEC teams featured, of course. Not really a surprise there, but you did stay solid in that top 5, which you like. Again, heading into the Ole Miss series this weekend. No Arkansas baseball again tonight. That game against Arkansas State has been canceled due to inclement forecasted weather. Tavian Josenberger won the SEC Player of the Week, went 8 of 14 against Alabama this week. He's been on a tear in SEC play. Good for Tavian. 3rd time an Arkansas player has been named an SEC Player of the Week. You've got 2 Razorbacks, one former, one current. Mateo and Moore. That's who you're going for the next couple days in Augusta. Guys that I would assume at some point we'll mention Arkansas. You'll see. I don't know if there'll be any Arkansas stuff. I know Taylor's sponsored by Stevens Inc. I'd guess he'd be spocking a Stevens Inc. polo or sporting a Stevens Inc. polo, but there's definitely it's definitely cool to see some a former and current Razorback there down there in Augusta.
No, that'd be good, and we're always looking for a Razorback tie. This has not been an event that John Daly has been been a part of consistently. So I mean he never had the exemption for this and never qualified on a consistent basis. So we hadn't always had a good Razorback tie to pull for, so glad you pointed those out.
Trivia question. Do you know the other guys that are consistently, that have been Razorbacks that have been a part of this event before? Outside of Daly?
Pappas would probably be one of them, I'm guessing. No? Dean Pappas, not one of them? Ken Duke was in this, but he was not a Razorback. He's from Arkadelphia. Nope, you're going to have to tell me.
Andrew Landry,
okay.
R.H. Sykes, Miller Barber, you mentioned John Daly, David Lingmerth, and Austin Cook.
There you go.
The Razorbacks that have been in this event before, and you mentioned the exception. So if you win a Masters, you get to go every year, correct?
Lifetime exemption.
Okay.
So you choose not to play.
And if you win a PGA Tour event, you get to go as...
You win a PGA Tour event, you get to go that next year. So all the winners in the previous 365 days have an exemption for that year, or qualify. I shouldn't say exemption. You qualify for the field. I think it's the world top 50, 1 through 50, and that's going to be the contention with this live is what counts for world ranking points. If you win any of the other majors, the PGA Championship, the U.S. Open, or the Open Championship, you qualify for, I believe it's 5 years. If you're the U.S. Open, or probably the U.S. Amateur, the Pan Asian Amateur, there's like 3 different amateur events that if you win those, you qualify.
And Mateo won the Latin American. That's
Latin American is the newest one, I believe.
That's why he's getting to go.
Either that or the Pan Asian. But
Taylor won the Valspar.
Yeah. So those are all there's a specific way you can get into the field. So and it's its own unique deal. There's not a limit or a minimum or a you have to meet one of these qualifications to get into the field. And then if you finish so high in the previous year, top so many in ties get in from the previous year's field. There's multiple layers to the qualifying list.
Mm-hmm. Last thing here in your Hog update, someone sent me a list from Pro Football Focus that has KJ Jefferson as a top 10 returning quarterback in this upcoming year. I know that excites Arkansas fans that you have a guy that's been with the program for quite some time, and while he has a new offensive coordinator, I think there's a lot of excitement around the offense. I'm still waiting to see who he can throw the ball to, and really, I don't really care what they do in spring or fall. I mean, I got to see it in my own eyes when they play. Is LSU's their opening conference game, isn't it, in September?
Yes.
Or is it A&M? Did I mix that up? It's LSU on the road, Baton Rouge. So you got the Little Rock game, you got a home Fayetteville game, and
BYU.
Then BYU at home, and then you go to Baton Rouge. Mm-hmm. I want to see if
September was at 23rd.
Yeah, and I know maybe it's a little off base for me to have to make an assessment of a group 4 weeks into the season, but I mean it's one thing to do it against the two teams non-conference and then BYU, who's also a non-conference opponent. I want to see what they do against the LSU Tigers in Week 4.
So you get LSU, A&M, Ole Miss all in a row to open conference play. So then some team named Alabama after that.
Tommy, think about that.
All of those games away from Fayetteville.
And that's where I was going to say you're away from Fayetteville from over a month.
Mm-hmm.
You start the BYU game is at what date? You've got it right there. What's the date on that?
September 16th.
Okay, and the next home game is against either Auburn or Mississippi State.
Mississippi
is what?
State.
Okay.
That would be October 29th.
Okay, so you're basically a month and a half of not playing in Fayetteville.
Pardon me, the 21st.
21st, so a month and a week.
29th's their opening, or 28th's their open date. So, yep.
Well over a month.
You play 3 in state, one of those in Little Rock to open the season. 4 games away from Arkansas. You play state, then on the road to Florida. Then you finish the season with 3 in Fayetteville with Auburn, FIU, and Missouri.
Gosh, that's a brutal stretch for Sam Pittman. I know I've spoken to the idea that they don't have the toughest schedule in college football as they had the previous 3 years, but still, it's the SEC, man. And when you have that A&M game as your home game, it's not fun for your schedule.
That's why I asked the question last week of Clay. I know we don't know the rosters. Can you win the games in state? They're paramount this year for that very reason, because of that stretch. That's what I was driving at last week. Is you ought to be 3-0. You may have a rough stretch there in the middle. If you can just win one of those, if you just win your in-state games, that gets you to 7. Still one on the road somewhere. You got 8. I think people will be satisfied.
That's going to do it for your Hog Update this morning. It's brought to you, as always, by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
How about the Women's National Championship getting to 12.6 million viewers? It averaged about 10.
9.9.
It's up over 100% year over year from the ratings last year.
You compare, and now they were on, was it ESPN2 and ABC? They were on multiple. I don't know if that combines them, but still, it's people that watch.
It does, plus the plus, and they combined everything.
So,
from
I mean,
what I read.
Yeah, I don't know if that went, but I saw some comparisons to how that ranked in comparison to college football and some of the bigger games in college football, and it had a bigger audience. I don't know if it's an apples-to-apples comparison. I know there's always a push to try to make women's sports look like they're on the rise, but if you got 10 million people watching, that's a great number.
Mm-hmm.
No question.
I know some LSU fans were frustrated about all the love and adulation that Caitlin Clark got. She's a big reason why the ratings were as high as they were. She
is the reason.
Yeah, and again, some people didn't take too kindly to what Angel Reese did. It's good that happened. It's good for the sport that wins basketball, and the ratings, they tell that. They tell that story. Hour 3 coming up. Tom Murphy, Arkansas Democrat Gazette, Whole Hog Sports, joins us next. Got a lot of things to get into with Tom, and we'll do that in about 5 minutes.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Robert.
And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
Matt, it's almost summertime.
Yes, it is, Dad. Spring's here, and summer's not too far away.
So, Matt, you know what that means.
Baseball season.
Yep, you be right.
And Hog fans, we have everything you need to get ready for Razorback baseball.
From t-shirts to hats.
From stuff for the grill to lighted signs and decorations for your fan cave.
We even have those bases-loaded beer hats and them boppers.
Hey, Dad, what's a bopper?
You know, those springy things that have 2 beer cups on the top?
Oh, yeah, those things. I've seen them everywhere. Well, no matter what you need, we have you covered.
So, Hog fans, come by the Stadium Shop at 989 South Razorback Road in Fayetteville and call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486. And, Matt, as usual, I'm going to leave them WW Facegram things up.
Our website, which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com.
Matt, this time of year reminds me of when your mom and I first started dating. Matt,
Dad, wait, hang on. That's just too much.
Oh, okay.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
It started as a dream, and here you are. It's moving day. But wait, isn't moving supposed to be stressful? Oh, that's right. You bought your home using Weichert Realtors. Your Weichert agent guided you from start to finish to help make sure we found you your perfect place. Dream, move, home, Weichert. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today and make your move, and look for our bright yellow signs. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
M&M Grass-Fed Farms of Rudy says, "Where's the beef?" That's a blast from the past, but it's a real thing at the paint store in Van Buren. Our M&M farm produces certified 100% grass-fed beef, T-bone, New York strip, fajita meat, bones for broth, tenderloin, even beef, bacon, and tongue. Our free-range chicken eggs are fresh from the farm. Rudy is your coupon code. Find us and follow us, M&M Farms, inside the paint store in Van Buren.
The Golf Nut has everything you need to make 2023 the best year ever. In stock now, Callaway Ping G430 woods and irons, along with tailor-made Stealth 2 woods. Schedule a fitting today. The new Titleist Pro V1s are here. Golf lessons are available. Call the shop and book a time, or just play a round of golf on one of the many courses like Pebble Beach or Bethpage Black. Stop by the Golf Nut today, 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith. Your #1 golf shop since 1994.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Springtime is finally here, and Road Chevrolet in Van Buren has the savings you need. Enjoy a 6-quart full synthetic oil change for $59.95 with a tire rotation at no additional charge. And save money by getting a 4-wheel alignment for only $79.95. To save even more, if you've never met our service manager, Ronald Peters, come and shake his hand and save $20 off any other service. It's as easy as a handshake. Road Chevrolet Van Buren and Rhodes Tire Center. Prices you'll love, people you can trust.
50% off. That's right, 50% off starting April the 1st at Frank Roll Furniture. A one-time offer for the month of April. 50% off all in-stock sofa, love seats, sectionals, and recliners. We need to move it quick due to truckloads coming. This sectional, $21.99, now $1,100. Sofa love, $23.19, now $11.60. This recliner, $451, now $226. Main USA Cash and Carry Furniture Sale. Get it while it lasts. Frank Roll Furniture. Best seats in the house.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Drs. Sparkman, Nanda, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, active weather expected to develop with strong to severe thunderstorms that may contain some golf ball size hail, winds 60 to 80 miles per hour, and there's a chance of tornadoes. So a few showers or storms on the increase today, highs right around 80 degrees. The worst of the weather moves through tonight, overnight lows in the 50s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
When it comes to your auto repairs, call W&W Automotive at 242-1600.
You're listening to The Morning Rush live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3 KERX Paris Fort Smith. This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by Farm Credit. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com.
Hurley and the Huskies have their dreams come true.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You guys know I am a student of pop culture.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
It's hour number 3 of the Morning Rush on a Tuesday. Plenty to discuss with Tom Murphy of the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette and Whole Hog Sports. Also going to get into Jim Nance's final call, his final national championship in the same town where he went to college. All that's coming up in hour 3.
Yeah, I got in the car yesterday, a little before 5 to head to the house, and the little thermometer on the car said 88 degrees. Already starting to see that warm weather. That means mosquitoes are on the way, and hey, all that backyard fun we got planned, who do you call when it comes time to get rid of the mosquitoes, the ticks, and the fleas? That's our friends at Mosquito Joe. They've been making outdoors fun again for more than 10 years. Claim your property back from mosquitoes, ticks, and fleas with a custom program from Mosquito Joe. They have something new and different this year. Ask about Mosquito Joe repellent systems. These are great for restaurants and bar patios and boat docks and outdoor kitchens and pools and areas that, just simple candles and tiki torches aren't going to cut it, or a monthly spraying. This is where Mosquito Joe can come and, with no scent to humans, with no spraying, create a virtual force field around your area. So when you can't seem to get things under control and the mosquitoes are running your outdoor fun, it's time to call Mosquito Joe about a misting system. It's like having a technician there 24/7. It's a great approach for pools, patios, and even horse barns as well. Call Mosquito Joe. Tell him you heard about it here on the Morning Rush on ESPN Arkansas and get a special discount on a custom program or repellent system or a misting system. Tell him you heard it right here. They'll knock off $200 when it comes to the first bill. So if you haven't checked them out yet, go to arkansas.mosquitojoe.com or call 479-202-9960 and ask about the new repellent systems from Mosquito Joe.
Tom, as always, good morning. Thanks for jumping on with this. I want to start with the game last night. We saw Eric Musselman following the Baylor loss, really tried to get some good guards, and then after the Duke loss, he really focused on size. Based on how UConn was able to pull it together this season, what do you think what are some of his takeaways that he has for his team that he wants to address, and how UConn was able to win it all this year?
Well, good morning, you guys. UConn just had really a bit of everything. They had guards who could dribble, penetrate. They had three-point shooting guards. They had a lot of height. They brought in a 7-footer off the bench who you look at their offensive rebounding last night and really throughout the tournament, it was phenomenal. So it's hard to assemble a roster that has the depth of talent, the height at guard, quickness, height inside, physicality, like Sonogo and them. But I think Eric Musselman has, kind of his plan. And I think if you add a kind of a sharpshooter to what they had last year, then, they're a little bit of a different team. And that was one thing they were lacking, was just, a couple of three-point guys who could really bludgeon you from out there. So he knows what he's doing. He's gonna add to this roster, and there's going to be depth to it. And I don't doubt that they're going to be right back in the mix again next year.
Tom, there's plenty of sharpshooters in the portal right now, including Max Abmas and L.J. Cryer, who Arkansas played 2 years ago, and then Cryer this past year. Do you think Musselman is more likely to maybe go after a guy that he's played against in the last couple years?
Well, we've heard him talk in his times with the media that the guys he's gone against personally, he knows their game. He can break them down, from a scouting standpoint. And I love Max Abmas. I mean, what a scorer! What a heart on that kid. Arkansas almost got eliminated by Oral Roberts on his three-point shot. So either one of those guys, I think, could add elements. And where I don't feel comfortable is talking about what it means to the locker room, because when they examine these guys, when they talk to people who know them, and I don't mean just these two, but everybody, they have to weigh, what does this guy do for our locker room? What kind of leader is he? Is he a team player, and all that kind of stuff? So there'll be a lot more adept at talking about that.
Yeah, and when you look at just the way the sport's changed, we were looking through some numbers a minute ago on kind of what UConn has done over the last 25 years. Everybody focuses on the 5 titles, but Tom, they've missed the tournament 8 times, didn't get out of the first weekend 7 times. 3 of their title games are against 5 seeds or worse, won 5 conference titles. Point is, a lot of ups and downs. 3 different conferences, I believe, but Big East twice, conference moves, 3 different head coaches. And I don't say that negatively. What it tells me, though, is you can catch lightning in a bottle. I'm not sure UConn hasn't caught lightning in the bottle multiple times here. And for a program like Arkansas that seems to have a good foundation, gives me hope that, you're just a piece or 2 away and catching a good break and catching a 5 seed or higher in a championship game. Some of the things UConn can done could happen to you.
Oh, it's absolute. And I think every team across the country can take heart in a program like UConn. And I don't know if there's a fan base. I mean, maybe there's just a couple like Kansas and Kentucky, maybe UCLA, who would be very content with being eliminated in the first round, losing as a number 1 seed, if it came with 5 titles in 25 years or whatever for UConn. Yeah, I mean, they would take. There are programs that would take 1 title in 25 years at the expense of some heartbreaking losses. But if you're Arkansas, you can draw from that. A lot of programs can. That you don't do so well in your conference sometimes, but your health comes together at the right time. You really figure out your roster in the postseason, like Dan Hurley appeared to. And all the conference movement and everything. It doesn't matter when it comes to. Think about UConn as a basketball program. I mean, dominant for more than a decade in women's hoops, and to have added 5 men's titles. Jim Calhoun created a monster. The one they won under Kevin Ollie, unbelievable. They just come out of nowhere, have a good roster, and boom, win a national championship. It can happen to you.
Yeah. So what's the biggest thing for the sport? We kind of reflect back on the sport as a whole. Portal, NIL, all of these things have dramatically changed things in the last 12 months or so, or 24 months, 36 months. Mm-hmm. Is the sport healthy? What needs to be the next consideration for the sport?
Well, that is a great question, and the leaders of the game would have to come together to maybe solve or address that. But I would say this. When you have as many Cinderellas or lower seeds as there was this year and all the ones eliminated, it might have taken out maybe some of the big storylines, some of the draws for people, for the eyes. but I don't think it reflects poorly on the health of the game that there were a lot of upsets. And I think it goes to show that in the NIL era, I mean, the way you put together your roster, the locker room culture that you create, you can go on a run. I mean, San Diego State won Squeaker. Wasn't that the Memphis game in their opening round? And it could have been a totally different team. It could have been a team like Memphis go on that run. So I don't know. I don't reflect poorly on the health of the game that all these teams kind of came out of nowhere. And I really personally was rooting for a first-time champion. But when I got to look at UConn and the way they were blowing people out early in the tournament, and then a hot Arkansas team, I mean, they just got them down and didn't let them up. I felt like they were the team to beat to win this whole thing.
Talking with Tom Murphy, Arkansas Democrat Gazette and Whole Hog Sports. Tom, I know we're going to get a chance to see some football practice this week, and I think the scrimmage on Saturday. We were talking about Pro Football Focus having Arkansas's quarterback KJ Jefferson as a top 10 returning QB. In your opinion, is there a better returning quarterback in the league than KJ?
Yeah, maybe not. It is a nice class coming out of the SEC this year with Young, Hooker. Really hate that he got hurt, and Levis. And let's see. Down at LSU, Jalen, he's a good returner. Arkansas kind of held him down, but he had his massive games like the Alabama game. There's a few others, but look, KJ's put together a really fine career. If you just look at him statistically and like physically and bringing up a program that had been really struggling to win 9 games in 21 and then come so close to repeating that last year, and a couple of games that they lost he wasn't playing in, speaks strongly to KJ's value to the program. He's going to wind up with some career records if he stays healthy this season. So I think it just reflects well that he stuck with it behind Felipe, and he got the starting job, and he came back for his senior year.
You just spoke to KJ backing up Felipe Franks. Jacoby Criswell, amongst others, is going to be backing up KJ this year. I know there wasn't a lot of confidence from the fan base when KJ went down with your backup quarterback. Is that more solidified this year with Forden playing some and Jacoby Criswell, who the staff seems to be excited about?
I think so. I think your overall depth at quarterback behind KJ, you'd feel a lot better if you were to have to go out a game. Criswell having gotten it done a little bit at North Carolina, and Forden, I mean, he found Matt Landers for a touchdown against LSU when it didn't look like Arkansas could move it very well. Of course, he got blasted as soon as he delivered the ball. Harold Perkins was just a beast. I've not seen maybe personally a defensive masterpiece quite like Harold Perkins put on Arkansas. But anyway, yeah, and then, Malachi Singleton, he can come along. So it's just that when these guys are thrust into a game, Forden got his shot against Mississippi State. Didn't go well, but here comes Malik Hornsby and moves the offense some, rushes for over 100 yards. And then Malik Hornsby gets his start against LSU. It doesn't go well, and Forden comes in and throws a touchdown pass. So there's always a lot of pressure on the number 2 QB, and I do feel like Arkansas should be in a better position this year if they have to go to him.
What's the feel or the sense you get from Sam with his staff? I mean, that's the other thing we've talked about throughout this spring. Half the coaching staff are new faces, still trying to figure out new players on the team. How settled does the head coach seem to be with his staff right now? What's the feeling you get when he spoke with you guys?
I think he's got a pretty good feel, like a good mojo for what's happening. Defensively, Travis Williams and Marcus Woodson kind of bring a different flair, and they're younger, and they're players' coaches. But, yes, they're also, they can be tough on the guys. I like, and I said this with you guys before, I like the way Marcus Woodson does some of the corrections. He brings them over the side, and he's talking about technique or where their eyes were, where they need to focus, what needs to happen with their hips and so on, their alignment. And I think he's got a understated confidence, low-key confidence in the fact that they're going to have some veteran leadership on offense and a pretty good amount of skill guys back with a decent amount of O-line returners and kind of building depth at tight end, coupled with a fresh style on defense. I just worry about their depth. I mean, I was thinking about this morning. Cam Ball got hurt. We might not see him the rest of spring. Well, what if they had lost Cam Ball the way they did Torian Carter? Then they're in a world of hurt at defensive tackle. I mean, they already feel like they've got to find some more guys just to have good numbers at that spot. And so having a healthy Torian Carter and Cam Ball and Eric Gregory going into the fall is just really paramount for this team. And then I really feel they've got to add one or two other defensive tackles, just guys who can plug and demand double teams.
10 or 11 more days left in the practice period. What's bigger, the next 10 or 11 days, or what happens beginning on April 15th in the portal?
Well, Tommy, I don't know. They both have great value, obviously. You're still installing your systems on both sides of the ball. So you want to go into the summer feeling like your guys know the playbook and have a really good grasp on what the checks are. I mean, you can still work through that in the summer and in the fall a little bit too. But obviously trying to get maybe another linebacker, another D tackle, a couple of safeties out of the portal is going to be huge. And while there's a ton of basketball talent right now in the portal, in football it's a little different that so many guys made their moves after the season. But there will be some more after spring ball. I mean, we've seen it with Arkansas last couple of years. And having, being on top of the game, who's going to enter their name and trying to get them on this campus is going to be super huge. So I think they both have strong value for Arkansas football.
Tom, a baseball question or two before we let you go. No Arkansas State game tonight. That game has been canceled. You got Ole Miss this weekend. Probably the biggest news that came out of yesterday at the Swatters Club is the status of Brady Tigert, who might be able to go by the end of the month. How important is he to the Arkansas lineup based on what you've seen the last couple weeks and their struggles to a certain extent?
Well, when you got a veteran arm who's got a great curveball, a potential, like a swing and miss guy in the back of your bullpen, it's such a feather in your cap. The way that Matt Hobbs and Dave Van Horn have pieced together the pitching after they got blown up by LSU in those two games and then blown up by Bama in game one, the way they pieced it together, Tavian Josenberger was the MVP of the weekend with his hitting. Mm-hmm. But Dylan Carter pitching two games, and I'm not sure the total, 5+ or maybe even 6 innings in 2 games, both wins, that was huge for Arkansas. The way they're moving around the pieces, Cody Adcock, Will McIntyre hasn't given great innings the last 2 starts. They need to get him back going. But if you could get 3 or 4 innings out of Brady Tigert on a weekend here by the end of the month, it adds phenomenal value. And then when you have performances like Gage Wood closing out Game 3 against Bama, you're just starting to give confidence to some other guys, and that when Tigert comes back, you're in a stronger position.
Tom, you mentioned Josenberger. He wins the SEC Player of the Week. You think about the transfers Dave's brought in. Borfin, I think, from Oklahoma, Wagner from Creighton, and then Josenberger from Kansas. We've talked about Sam Pittman landing some key players out of the portal. What do you think Dave's done the last couple years since that opened up a little more, and how do you think he's gone about that?
In all honesty, I think you could apply strong portal sense to basically every sport on this campus right now. Mm-hmm. It's happened in softball. Merrick Musselman has had Titanic pieces come onto his program, and in the same in football and in baseball. You look at last year's team, where would they have been without some of that transfer talent? This year's team, Wagner and Josenberger have been 2 of the biggest components in the batting order. And Jace Borfin, who was an ad last year from Oklahoma, hitting over 400. So I don't know. They have I think they have a really strong sense that who adds to your, first of all, who's a great athlete, who can hit, who can pitch, et cetera, but who can add value to your locker room. Mm-hmm. And it's not always an easy thing to do, but it looks like Dave Van Horn and his staff are on top of that.
Heard Phil mention this yesterday. They were already a game short because they only scheduled 55. Now you lose this one, you're down to 54. It will be interesting to see if there's someone they'd like to add to a midweek game at some point, where that might even fit in the schedule. And then also, Tom, maybe the ramifications that could have on the metrics somewhere down the line, if any. So I thought that was an interesting thought from Phil yesterday when this game for tonight was determined to be canceled due to pending weather.
Exactly, and I think what we've seen in recent years is when they've lost a game, it is very rare that they've replaced it. It's just harder to, when you think about a team like Arkansas State, for instance, the drive they have over here and then getting back. And when you add weather, potential bad weather to it, it doesn't make any sense to try to play tonight, obviously. But then where do you plug that game back in? And from what Dave Van Horn said at the Swatters Club yesterday, they might look at it, but that typically hasn't resulted in adding a game. I think their RPI is going to be fine when you think of who they started the season with, some of their non-conference games. It's not like 2 years ago, or it's not like last year when they kind of fell out of it. I think they're in really strong shape to, not lose any ground on the RPI.
Tom, great stuff. We'll talk to you on Thursday. Get ready for another big weekend, and we'll ask you about the Masters. You're a Georgia guy. We'll talk about the Masters on Thursday as well.
Yeah, I like the sound. And Mateo Fernandez will be, De Oliveira will be in it for the Razorbacks, and as well as Taylor Moore. So I look forward to that.
We'll get you to say all of that again. All right, Tom, we'll talk to you on Thursday. Tom Murphy, Arkansas Democrat Gazette, with us here on the Morning Rush. Hey, let me tell you about my friends at Vici Aesthetics and Wellness. If you're looking for a way to maybe help you lose a few extra pounds this spring, semaglutide. You maybe have some friends in your circle or some business acquaintances that have lost some weight recently. You've asked them how they did it. Well, I got on the shot. Well, where do you go for this magic shot? And I don't think magic's necessarily the right word to describe it. This is an FDA-approved, doctor-supervised program. And what this program does for you is reduce your appetite. It slows the digestion process so you feel full longer, regulates your blood sugar, and it helps you lose weight over time. So if you've reached that age, kind of like I have, where that extra 15 pounds you're trying to get off is just harder to do, Vici Aesthetics and Wellness has a program that's, again, supervised on a weekly basis, begins with a doctor's visit with FDA-approved medicines to help you lose that weight. 479-343-8424, and they serve every part of Arkansas. So no matter where you're listening or watching this morning, they have telemedicine where you can visit with a doctor and they can send you the product regardless of where you're at. But call and schedule your consultation. If you're in Northwest Arkansas, they're easy to get to in Springdale. If you're in the River Valley, they're easy to get to as well. 479-343-8424 is their number. It's semaglutide from Vici Aesthetics and Wellness. 479-343-8424 for Vici Aesthetics and Wellness.
Didn't get with it with Tom, but we will touch on some Masters coming up. A lot of storylines heading into this weekend out of Augusta. We'll touch on a few of them next.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
This is Phil Steele, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab.
C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Remember this top 10 hit from 1983? Boy George, I Think You've Got It. It's Church of the Poison Mind by Culture Club. The culture is continuing to poison the minds of our youth by clubbing them with everything but the truth. But when we heed God's word, He gives us the solution to all the gender confusion. The true poison is believing that evil is good and good is evil. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Think about it.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your college basketball betting this season. Get analysis of every play, prop, and point at BetOnline. You'll find the latest odds, bracket contests, team matchups, and game trends at BetOnline. Updated odds for everything from live games right through the Final Four and the championship game. BetOnline is where your college basketball headquarters are this season. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to sign up and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Be sure to use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your bonus. That's BLEAV. BetOnline.ag, where the game starts.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all. When you stay overnight, you want the accommodations to feel comfortable and feel like home. Well, at Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, you get exactly that. You can check out all their locations at bphotels.com. They have locations in Fayetteville, Bentonville, Little Rock, Jonesboro, Conway, El Dorado, Arkadelphia, North Little Rock, Bryant, Hot Springs, Ardmore, Oklahoma, and coming soon to Kansas City. bphotels.com. Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, looking forward to serving you in 2023.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
What's the deal with our cheese?
The cheese is from Wisconsin.
Okay, so what? Ain't cheese just cheese?
Billy, I'm from Wisconsin.
Not to be rude, Wes, but who cares?
Wisconsin cows make for better cheese.
Aren't cows just cows? Don't they have cows out in California?
Wisconsin cows are better because of the ice.
Ain't there 4 ice in California?
Ice, not eyes.
The ice is the difference? Do cows skate or something? Do they play hockey too?
Oh, blessed Billy.
How does they put them their skates on them?
Jim's Razorback Pizza uses cheese from ice hockey playing cows from Wisconsin. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
Call Phil Hicks in Greenwood or Wade Gilkey in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I appreciate you and Tommy having me on this morning. It's always great to join the morning rush.
1-1 pitch. Hammered by Tavian way back right field. That ball on the roof of the Hunt Center.
The Gimme the Hogs Chuck podcast every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Brought to you by Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. You can listen to it at hitthatline.com or wherever you hear your favorite podcasts.
Let's talk some Masters coming up. I need some advice on who to take this weekend. And there's a lot of guys that you like out there that you're expecting to do well. Most notably, 2 Razorbacks, 1 current, 1 former, and Moore and Mateo. Hopefully both those guys have successful outings in Augusta.
Yeah, should be a good week. Looking forward to I think it's some of the best television of the year that we get to watch this week at the Masters. I'm looking forward to that. Bet Saracen app's got all the odds there, so you can go to the Bet Saracen app, download that. I'm looking forward to seeing maybe what's in the round that you can have some fun wagering on during the round this year at the Masters. So that'll be new for me, is checking out that Bet Saracen app during the Masters, which all gets underway on Thursday. Hey, Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith and in Springdale. We are rolling with Rath this month in Fort Smith and in Springdale. Larry, good morning.
Good morning, Tommy. Hope you're having a good one. And, rolling with Rath, that's kind of the new thing we're doing. And, it's just so simple. We have cars. People want to buy cars, and we want to help them do that. We need cars. People want to sell cars, and we want to buy their cars. That's simple, too, right? We got a big old repair shop full of fantastic technicians that know what they're doing. People have cars that need to be serviced. We want to service those cars for them. Folks, we just want to help you do whatever it is you're trying to do anyway. At Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, we've got you. Just give us a call. If it's got anything to do with a car, if you're trying to trade a car, sell a car, buy a car, whatever, we're going to take care of you. We really have got a better group of people over here, I think, Tommy, than we've ever had. I know you've been in the store and you've met some of these people. Just a great group. They work hard. They care about the quality of their work. And, it's hard to find that these days. If that's what you're looking for, folks, is somebody that cares about you and your car and they know how to take care of things, come to Rath Auto Resources. Give us a chance and see why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. And, by the way, Christian, I've got your money. Man, come get your money. And Christian sent us a referral, and that's really easy, folks. You can do it, too. You got a friend or a family member that's thinking about getting a car. Maybe it's not even your time just yet. Bring them into Rath Auto Resources. We'll sell them a car. You get paid. And you can ask Christian. It's easy. And we've also got the big contest going on, guys. The winning and grinning Give-A-Palooza. Have you ever heard of anything so ridiculous? But listen, it's fun and it's free. And we're giving away a set of tires and a Meineke Mile prepaid maintenance program. So we got some really fun things going on, folks. We hope you'll let us help you do what you're trying to do. Come and roll with Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. We're at 4515 Townsend Avenue here in Fort Smith. You can check us out online, rathauto.com.
All right, that's Rath Auto Resources. We're rolling this month. Rath Auto Resources, Fort Smith, and in Springdale. Larry, enjoy your day. We'll talk to you on Friday.
Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good one. Folks, come and see us.
Sounds like Christian's about to be rolling in it, too. Now, you're going to use that referral money wisely, aren't you, man?
Yeah, I want to try. I almost won the 200, but I'll take 75.
Oh, yeah. $75 richer than you were, so I'd take that, too. All right, Tommy, we've got our fantasy draft decided upon the order of which our golfers finish in the Masters. Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy, and who's the other one that's been taken? And John Rahm have all been taken. I've got pick 5. So I'm going to have an opportunity at either Justin Thomas or Jordan Spieth, an Alabama guy and a Texas guy. Who would you take?
Are you anti-live or you don't care?
I want to be as high selection as I can in the draft in this situation. I already.
Does it matter? I mean, you've never won your draft.
I won the draft before.
I mean, you never won the fantasy league anyway, right?
But I haven't won the fantasy league. So I already nixed Dustin Johnson to a golf buddy of mine who's really intelligent on this stuff. I mean, Jason Day, Spieth, Thomas, Finau, Morikawa. Who are some other?
Finau and Morikawa would interest me more than any of those other guys that are, I don't want to say past their prime, but they're not. Morikawa would be one I'd jump on.
Jump on Morikawa?
Yep.
Okay.
Colin Morikawa? Yep.
Okay.
Finau's playing good golf here lately. I maybe look at him. I haven't watched as much golf leading up to. I've watched a little bit, but those are two names I'd get after.
Cameron Smith.
You can't get Scheffler.
Cameron Smith, I know, is a live guy. What's he? And I guess you just said you hadn't been watching much golf, so I'd ask you how he's been playing up to this point. But
I hadn't watched any live. Don't plan to watch any live golf, so not going to watch it. I did see a highlight on the Sportscaster where someone has shown, man, some of these courses they're playing don't look up to the standard of PGA. And I know Augusta's Augusta, but man, some of these places they're playing, they got like algae in the ponds and
not good.
They don't look up to the normal standard. look more like the courses we play on the weekends than maybe what you're just used to seeing on the PGA Tour.
So into this, Morikawa is the one you probably select.
You get 5?
No, as in
how many do you get to put on your list?
I'm pick 5th. The 3 guys that I listed, everybody take it. So one guy above me gets one more selection. He's probably going to take Spieth or Thomas if I had to guess, and then I'll get any of the ones that haven't been picked. Okay, Morikawa. It sounds like. Well, if he wins it and I get first pick, thank you very much. We'll have to.
He didn't have to win it. He's got to finish ahead of those other guys.
That he does. Yeah, I guess that's the way to look at it. It'd be awesome if he won though
too. There you go. Hey, the Inn at the Mill. It's right in the heart of everything in Northwest Arkansas. So if you've got plans in Fayetteville, Springdale, Bentonville, Rogers anytime soon coming up, whether it's a concert at the Amp, a weekend trip to Crystal Bridges, going to a baseball game, maybe you're going to the Tennessee game, you're looking for a place to stay, the Inn at the Mill is the place. 479-443-1800 is their number. Unique property, big rooms. You're going to like the quality at the Inn at the Mill. It's our favorite place to stay. They give you the personal touch. In fact, they've been voted 11 years running the highest rated for staff interactions because their staff does such a great job. Go to inatthemill.com. See what I'm talking about there. Again, call for a reservation, 479-443-1800 for our friends at the Inn at the Mill.
SEC coming up as we close out a Tuesday show.
Shop local, eat local, be local. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Joe Klein here for Bet Saracen, Arkansas's favorite sports betting app.
You bet it is, Joe, which means Bet Saracen has everything you're looking for and more right there on your cell phone.
Now everyone can get in the game and follow your favorite team.
And that's right on the money. If putting down a little wager makes your favorite game a little more exciting, we'll go to the app stores and download Bet Saracen. We even got a demo video to show you how to play.
Or find it at betsaracen.com.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Like beer.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hi, folks. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where we've got a great group of people ready to work hard to help you do whatever it is you're trying to do. Maybe you need to buy a car, sell a car, repair a car. Maybe you're just asking for a friend who has a question about a car. We're here to help. All the happiest customers are rolling with Rath. By the way, visit us on Facebook and check out this month's Winning and Grinning Give-A-Palooza. Who knows what you might win? Maybe a Meineke Mile Service contract or a prepaid maintenance plan or a set of tires. It's fun and it's free, and just one way we say thanks to all of our friends and family who support and promote our business. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. 15 minutes from everywhere, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag technology without the headache.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work. Real work. Working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
50% off. That's right, 50% off starting April the 1st at Frank Roll Furniture. A one-time offer for the month of April. 50% off all in-stock sofa, love seats, sectionals, and recliners. We need to move it quick due to truckloads coming. This sectional $21.99, now $1,100. Sofa love $23.19, now $11.60. This recliner $451, now $226. Main USA cash and carry furniture sale. Get it while it lasts. Frank Roll Furniture. Best seats in the house.
Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment? Not having enough home time? Feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit patriottransport.com to apply. That's patriottransport.com.
Springtime is finally here, and Road Chevrolet in Van Buren has the savings you need. Enjoy a 6-quart full synthetic oil change for $59.95 with a tire rotation at no additional charge. And save money by getting a 4-wheel alignment for only $79.95. To save even more, if you've never met our service manager, Ronald Peters, come and shake his hand and save $20 off any other service. It's as easy as a handshake. Road Chevrolet Van Buren and Rhodes Tire Center. Prices you'll love, people you can trust.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Somebody said we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
LSU Iowa National Championship game for women averaged 9.9 million viewers. It peaked at about 12.6 million. That's up over 100% year over year. Up 100% from last season. This is one of the biggest televised sporting events of the year thus far. And Tommy, you were talking about comparing it to some college football games, which actually stacks up.
It's larger than a lot of the big college football games. But what do you attribute 10 million people watching to?
I mean, a lot of
is it the growth of the sport?
Oh, it's Caitlin Clark. And do you want the honesty, or
I'm just asking you a question.
It's Caitlin Clark.
I agree. I think Caitlin Clark captured the attention of America and the eye-popping stats she put out, and I think next year there will not be very many stories proliferated by the sport in the NCAA that, hey, we had half the audience we had a year ago, because I think the numbers will return to normal. You won't have a story in your hand that, hey, there was 9.9 million viewers a year ago, but there's only 4.5 million this year, which is about normal, which is a good audience.
Mm-hmm.
You know, let's not, run from the fact that 4 or 5 million people watching a women's national championship game is nothing to sneeze at. Now, that's combined. They had 2 networks going, and streaming counts into that number.
Mm-hmm.
So not all these other things we're comparing to had multiple networks and all of these other things, but it was still people watching. But I would bet that a year from now, we're talking about numbers closer to the 4 or 5 million range.
Can you tell me who won the national championship in women's last year?
South Carolina.
The year before?
Wasn't South Carolina then. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. And just proving a point. And I knew South Carolina as well, because they had up to the Final Four game not lost since, I think, Kentucky in the SEC championship game.
Obviously, Caitlin Clark's the big part of the story, but Iowa defeating South Carolina, I think, is what built that audience, because everybody wanted to see him complete the feat, you know. Iowa become the national champions.
I watched Mississippi State beat UConn a couple years ago. This is the first time in my entire life that I was more dead set on watching a Final Four game in the women's than men's. First time in my entire life.
On what was that, Friday night?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. And we watched that game in their entirety. We were watching it in Mountain Harbor, and you had the guys in the room more interested than any girl in the room. Just because
I flipped back. I was watching the baseball, but the baseball became very uninteresting on Friday night.
Yeah.
And I didn't watch all of the championship game on Sunday because the Arkansas-Alabama baseball game was
great game,
engaging, and I was kind of going back and forth in commercials, but baseball game ended in time to see most of the fourth quarter of that game.
Yeah, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope the sport continues to grow and trend in the right direction, because it's gals like Caitlin Clark that make it more attractable for young ladies and young girls that are growing up playing the sport and have aspirations to play college basketball. But I still think that she is the main driving force, and I, like you, wonder what will be the big storylines in it, because she's graduating, correct? If I remember that right, or is she? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong,
interested to see, Christian, maybe Google. I don't know if the numbers for last night's men's championship game are out yet. The comparison would be interesting. That's for sure.
And the draw of the
it may not be out yet.
Yeah, the draw of the championship game for women's, I think, is more appealing to a national audience than it was of men's. Even though UConn was going for Title V, they got Title V. This was just not this will be one, if I had to guess, one of the more lower-rated national championship games on the men's side that we've seen. And it'll still beat the national championship for the women's side, but in perspective to what the sport is year over year and consistently, if I had to guess, it'll be on the lower side of things. SEC softball tournament is in Fayetteville. You can get tickets. You can submit your ticket request by next Monday, April the 10th. For berm seats, if you want to take advantage of that. I'd forgotten it's out. Tavian Josenberger was named the SEC Player of the Week. Third time an Arkansas player's been named that. He's one of those portal guys that has had an impact, like I was talking with Tom about. Josenberger, Borfin, and Wagner are debatably three of your best, if not three of your best players in Creighton, Oklahoma, and Kansas, where you plucked them from.
Yeah, I mean, transfer portal is huge with what's going on. You can make the case that Dave Van Horn's worked that portal as well as any coach on campus. I don't know enough about what everyone else has done and who's the best in the sport, but what we do know probably enough about is what's going on campus, and he's utilized that as well as Muss or Pittman or anybody else that we pay close attention to, and they're in leveraging what the players out of the portal.
And speaking of portal guys, LJ Cryer out of Baylor, who you saw firsthand this year, Max Agnes, who you saw 2 years ago, and Oral Roberts have both entered their names in the transfer portal, so it keeps getting added. They are going to get looked at by several SEC schools. Wouldn't be surprised if one of those two individuals didn't wind up at an SEC school, but two more big additions to what is a pretty popular basketball portal at this point in time.
Yeah, so say Asmus. I get it wrong every time, even though we've been talking about this guy for 2 years.
Max Abness is
Abness.
Abness.
Listen, his stats speak for themselves.
Abness.
Not playing against SEC defenders, but man, Arkansas needs shooters. They need scorers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's any interest from both sides there, but man, it'd be good news if you looked up later on today and found out he had planned to visit Fayetteville.
I think the deal with Max is we saw it with Chris Likes a little bit. Arkansas was in some mismatches when Chris was on the floor on the defensive end, and I wonder, as Arkansas had a lot of size this year. I know it hurt when Trevin got hurt, but I think Eric Musselman really likes to have size across the floor, length for steals and various things. So I'm curious how much of a look Max Abmas gets compared to some of the other guys, even though he's a peripheral scorer, as you talked about. He's great in that area. Just the defensive liability. I remember when Jalen Tate just backed him down for 3 or 4 straight possessions, how Arkansas ended the game. I'm curious if that goes into account when Eric Musselman does, and he takes pretty much everything into account, so wouldn't be surprised on that. That is going to do it for your SEC update this morning.
It is brought to you by our friends at Arts Barbecue and Burgers. Big week for them, and big special today. I want to tell you about 2 things going on at Arts. It's Tuesday. That means pork chops are on sale. 2 big, and when they give you a pork chop, it's not one of these little bitty old thin things that you can almost see through. I mean, it's a big, fat, thick pork chop. And then they grill it and they cover it in that Arts sauce. It's great. You get to choose 2 sides that you want to go with it. $9.99. It's hard to find a $10 lunch anymore. So you can get not only a great lunch, but probably some left over for dinner. That's good all day today between 11 and 8:30 tonight. Also, Easter coming up this weekend. If you don't have time to smoke the ham or bake the ham and do all of that, Arts has a special Easter meal. There's still time for you to get that put together. And give them a call at 452-2550. They'll get you a spiral sliced, honey glazed ham. They'll get you deviled eggs. But where are you at on deviled eggs? You a deviled egg guy?
Personally, I'm not a fan, but I could eat anything else you just said.
Love deviled eggs. And I eat them once a year, and it's always at Easter.
My
mother-in-law makes deviled eggs, and they are tremendous. Potato salad, baked beans, green beans, mac and cheese. You get all of it, plus a dozen and a half rolls, and then you get to choose between, all right, which way are you going here, brownies or banana pudding?
Probably banana pudding.
Absolutely, all day, every day. And that's the Easter meal, $1.99. They'll get you fixed up. Still time to get a smoked ham and all the fixings from Arts Barbecue and Burgers in time for Easter. 452-2550. Give Wade a call, and they'll have you ready to go for Easter Sunday.
Jim Nantz has got a busy week. His last national championship as a broadcaster last night. Here's how the final call sounded.
One thing I learned through all of this is everybody has a dream, and everybody has a story to tell. Just try to find that story. Be kind. You told it better than most, let me tell you. Can I tell you one other thing? I mean this, not to try to play off Hello Friends, but to you, everybody in the college game, my CBS family, my family, all the viewers, thank you for being my friend.
Telly's choking up at the end, at the tail end of that soundbite.
Did you watch the presentation on the podium?
Was he crying?
No. Weird. I mean, the chairman of the committee, and I forget the guy's name, he comes out and he's going to hand the trophy. Jim Nantz is doing the presentation. And I don't know if they got wrapped up in the mic cord, but Nantz is, and they're all packed in there. It's on that stage is never big enough. You're trying to cram a whole team on there. Nantz is trying to talk to Dan Hurley. He's trying to talk to a couple of the star players, and Sonego was the first. And this chairman of the committee, and when I say he has latched to Jim Nantz, it's like they're hugging. It's like he is inside his sport coat. It is uncomfortable to watch, to the point the camera has to zoom in to take this guy out of the frame.
Yikes.
And then they're uncomfortably tight on Nantz and Hurley at that point. And I don't know what was going on there, but this guy was like inside his sport coat. It was unbelievable how tight and close he was in his personal space to Jim Nantz.
He just didn't want to let Nantz go
Lord.
after his final national championship.
Your job's to get up there, hold the trophy,
and get out of the way,
and present it to the national champions, the UConn Huskies and Coach Dan, and then you move out of the way. It's not your moment; it's their moment. And then let Jim do his job. And he was trying to do. I don't know if he was trying to just be on script. I don't know if he was trying to get his moment of fame, but I think maybe they were wrapped up in cords or something. I don't know, but it was just a weird, awkward watch.
You think the wireless mics would be a thing nowadays?
Well, you never trust a moment that important to a wireless mic, ever. Okay. Never, ever, ever, ever. That's a rookie mistake. You never do that.
All right. Well, now I know that. Well, that's going to wrap it up for Tuesday edition of The Morning Rush. If you missed our conversation with Tom Murphy, Bruce Stanton, we've been talking about attendance, talked about the national championship outcome, Masters, and Arkansas baseball. Again, a reminder, no game tonight between the Razorbacks and the Red Wolves. That game has been canceled due to forecasted inclement weather. You can find all of it in the Bud Light Morning Rush podcast. You can also find Chuck's recap from the weekend, the latest edition of the Gimme the Hogs Chuck podcast. And, of course, Halftime and Ruskin and Zach will be on there later on as well. Chuck will be back with us tomorrow. Just want to remind everyone, Tommy, you were talking about the time of the weather. When is it supposed to?
I think mid-afternoon in Fayetteville and western Arkansas, where the chances of precipitation pick up considerably about 2 o'clock today, and I think into the evening hours and later tonight's when we could see some of the more severe storms. So just keep it here on the radio, watch your phone, however you get your weather details, because by 2, 3 o'clock this afternoon, it's going to be heading our way.
Yeah.
By evening time, it's going to be here.
You'll get some updates from Halftime and Ruskin and Zach later on today. Again, we'll hopefully we'll avoid the weather. This is one of the times that you hope the weatherman is wrong. But when it comes to what we saw over the weekend, over the course of a couple different Arkansas cities, just to be as safe as possible when it comes to what could happen in the handful of hours ahead. Again, that's going to do it for today's show. For Christian Johnston, Tommy Kraft, Tom Murphy, and Bruce Stanton, I am Ty Richardson. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Still got Arkansas baseball, again, opening up Thursday in Oxford and Swayze, as they'll do it a little early with Easter this weekend. And we'll have that for you right here on most of these stations and hitthatline.com. We'll talk to you tomorrow on a Wednesday, a What's Your Beef Wednesday at 6 a.m.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state